Hey, we kicked on to Twitch at 360p. Now we're at a 1080p source. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. It's Saturday night. We're getting ready for another Linux Gamecast. It'll make your taint shiver, guaranteed.
It's like fiberglass insulation for your taint.
Fiberglass, look at you being fit, man. Asbestos.
Doesn't taste as good.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But hey, man, we got to do something with all this extra canned snow that we got laying around. What do we got for you tonight, everybody? We got a new version of Proton. It's doing some cool stuff. But speaking of Proton, we got a wine update that we're kind of looking at going, what the actual hell? Stick around for that. Schmarmageddon, it's a dragon movie.
Yeah.
We determined that in the pre-show. And Doom RPG.
Open source oh, yeah. Doom RPG. Open source and video drivers. They're coming. They're here.
Eventually, maybe.
So
they are here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I only do the social media thing. Doop, doop, doop. By that, I'm going to click publish, and I'm going to click post. Then I think I'm out of the social media. Do I got an extra one? Oh, one more post. All right. Why can't we get? I'm sad. I'm sad now. I was really hoping Yeet was going to get more traction in modern. Instead of a post button, it says Yeet.
Yeah. I mean, Yeet had its moment.
It did, but like Yeet usage has kind of yeeted.
Yep. What has replaced it? What has supplanted Yeet in the popular lexicon?
I think as a culture we've kind of went, all right, that's dumb. Let's just go back to post. Or like toss or throw. I still use Yeet.
Well, like Yeet implies like a certain context of throwing, right? Because like you can toss something or you can yeet it, right? Like
right. Yeet is like tossing with vigor.
Yeah, yes. Like you're trying to get rid of that thing, whatever it is you have in your hand, that needs to go away. That
as far away from you as you physically can.
Yeah,
you yeet it.
Yeah, that to me is the yeet, right? I don't know. This is old 30 to 40-year-olds dissecting popular lingo, so I'm sure this is perfectly accurate.
I mean, yeah, like Yeet's old enough to where the kids will be like, "What? Skibbity toilet? Something? I don't know."
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I posted the season finale of that. This is actually all right.
You know what? I'm cool with not really knowing what that is. You will be my generational touchstone on that one, Pedro. I know.
It's by the end. Admittedly, they were very much aping the source material that they were working with. It's all source filmmaker stuff,
dude.
And they just went all Half-Life and Half-Life 2. It's like, all right, no, I recognize those plot points there.
Speaking of things that like make me like look at my hands, and I'm like, no. Jordan posted like, oh look, llamas with hats, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to like
15 years
just, like,
was 2000.
Walk in front of traffic, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, we
Carl, why?
Like, no, this is impossible. And there it was. I was really hoping for like, here's series 2. No. We didn't get that.
What, they're just in hell? Like,
yeah,
what?
Why not? I mean, meet dragons? Come on.
Yeah.
No, dude. Internet series like that are a special thing, especially when they know to, like, we're done, call it a day,
Yep.
Peace out, and, yeah.
Same, Scott.
20-year high school reunion.
Mm-hmm. I, too, finished high school or secondary school in Portugal in 2004.
Dude. I don't know, man. Scott might go to his. He's thinking about it. You live stream it? Do some TikTok dances?
We gotta get Scott twerking. That's my goal for 2024.
Right on.
Scott and a twerk.
Do it ready. I don't know, man. Like every time, what was it? I made that little short a couple of weeks ago, which was from like 2 months ago, but I got tired of looking at it in the render folder. I'm like, I need to publish that. Where Lethal Company, or like, and Alan gets squished.
Cargo cult. Cargo
right?
cult. Yeah.
You're like, huh? And we're just all casually like, yeah, there it goes. And Alan was looking too until it landed on his face.
Yeah.
Which we were like, oh, I wonder if that killed. Yep. So then we're taking the body back to the ship.
Of course it does.
I think with Lethal Company, the answer to that question is generally yes, it will kill
Probably.
you.
At that point, we were new. I think that was like the
Yes.
first time we'd played it, man, or maybe
Yeah,
the
yeah,
second
yeah.
time. We were very new to the game.
Yeah. And now it's like, is this thing dangerous? Probably.
Probably.
Let's
Yeah.
let's avoid that.
Well, the floor
Is
killed
it
me.
another player? And even then,
Are you sure it's another player? Because we have that mod installed.
yes.
But the point of that story is, I when I posted the short, I'm like, all right, let's go post it on the TikTok, and like to log into TikTok on the browser plays TikTok shit in the background the entire time you're trying to log in.
Oh boy,
It's
no escape.
horrifying. I'm like,
That's another reason I like Firefox. Autoplay video and audio are disabled. You do not.
also, we have a TikTok, but I don't know what it is. Am I not doing that for a fact? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe it's whatever.
Follow us on TikTok. We're
Yeah.
very lost and we need help. Please guide us out. There was the Flash Gits thing with like the Doom guy in the elevator.
Oh right, yeah,
Yeah,
oh right,
yeah.
with like the cam demons. Yeah,
yeah.
That was good stuff. I like that.
Yeah, just at the very end, he's just like, more, please. You just kind of come through the other side, and you're like, I guess I'm into this now. Okay.
And a lot of like what I do understand about Warhammer comes from the Flash Gets like furry Warhammer thing that they've been
Warhammer
doing
versus
on
furry.
yeah,
Yes.
for years now, man. The lightning bolt?
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
I didn't know you blocked out a lightning bolt.
Yes.
Where's it at?
It's the zapping element.
Oh, that thing. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Element
the highlight
zapper
go
mode.
away. Yeah.
All right.
As opposed to having to find the fucking thing in DevTools and right click in it and
Oh, wait.
It's like in inspect element, but instead of inspecting it, you block it.
Oh, is that like? Okay, that's a bunch of extra steps. You right click and you just go down to block element. I mean, do it however you need to do it, but yeah, like
But if you pick the zapper element, it highlights what it's going to remove.
yeah, you do that with a mouse when you hit block element.
Yeah. You can skip that step by just clicking the zapper element and
Yeah,
then
but then I got to go up to the
thing.
top. Then I got to
Some-
click that.
and
Then I got to click the zapper.
sometimes
right click and
sometimes
block
there's
element.
modals and elements, right? Like you gotta like fuck around.
Fuck
with it
you.
a
My
little bit.
way's superior.
All right, whatever.
They both do the same thing. Yes.
I don't have a dog in this horse. Watch your goddamn ass. I don't care. Ah!
You open that can of worms. and
Sounds
I'll
like
lie in
a
it.
lubrication problem. The eyedrop
Most
is more
things are.
permanent. I don't know, dude. I tend to like just bounce off like anything that plays auto plays video. See, a lot of that I don't see because I also use script block, which gotta have that. So like a lot of the auto playing stuff I don't even see anyway.
Yeah, I was doing script block for a while, but that got really annoying to maintain. I just it's like
Once you go through the sites that you normally go through and like go into new sites, I like having that fucking there, man. Because like 9 times out of 13, you get everything you need, and every now and then you're like, oh, okay, you know, I gotta enable a thing or two.
the nice Firefox also has like the reader mode, plain text mode that just like bypasses all that shit too. Like, just give me the text, please. Please.
Well, the one like the no script on Chrome is like drastically superior to like the no script in Firefox, because the one in Firefox is like you just have to manually do every fucking thing.
Yep.
The one in Chrome has a good a fucking enough default where, you know, it's semi-intelligent of like, I kind of got an idea of what needs to be in there to get loaded.
Okay.
Know your audience, yeah. No, since Chrome is used by the mainstream the most, then yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know, man. Like, gotta use that Firefox. Because Firefox is getting AI, everybody. We're excited about that. Right?
Didn't they decide to focus on
Yeah.
the browser?
They did. In that very announcement, they said, we're bringing AI to Firefox. Yeah. I mean, that's what they're going to focus on, man.
It's so sad because there are so many smart, talented people at Firefox who want to do good work, and the Firefox Corp is just not letting them do it.
Hey, man, we're going to rebrand another VPN.
No, why
We gotta
focus
buy
on the
another
thing that people
useless
know us
service
for?
that no one
Yeah.
likes and shoehorn that into Firefox.
I don't know. I mean, I talked about that because, they did that other round of layoffs, which you forget a lot of people, like 2 years ago, they laid off 250 people. But, I looked it up. Where's the motivation to make a better browser at this point when 82% of your revenue in 2023 comes from a browser company?
Comes from your competitor.
Right. Do you
Yeah.
want to fuck with that check?
But like, isn't that also part of like how Google is kind of like avoiding a bunch of antitrust shit by like
Exactly.
hey,
Google doesn't give a fuck about the ads or whatever being in their search. That is just the keep the fucking DOJ off of our ass payment every year. Like, they're good with that. That's fine. Way cheaper than like, a 6-year legal battle.
that results in an outcome that they may or may not like.
I mean, same reason that like Intel, even like when AMD was in its darkest days, which is easy to forget about, like pre-Zen, because like AMD was hurting so bad, they sold their headquarters and rented it back to themselves. Like, that's how fucked AMD was at that point, man. Like, it was Zen or bust, like, no joke. But Intel was never going to let AMD go out of business. Like, they would have come up with fucking something for that same reason, man.
Yep.
Ryzen did exactly what it needed to do. It wasn't the best, but it was good enough.
And then it started eating Intel's lunch because Intel was like, oh,
And
we
then
don't
two
have to compete.
generations later, it's like, oh, we're at parity with Intel. Huh. And then the next generation, oh, we've beaten Intel at IPC. Huh.
It took them so long, man. Like, moving that Titanic ship that is Intel was just wild to watch. Because up until the Zen 1 came out, you could get a 4-core, 4-thread CPU from Intel. It was going to be expensive. Oh, you want hyper-threading enabled on that? Oh, buddy.
That's why i7.
Buddy,
No.
I hope you've been saving up, because hyper-threading's really expensive to keep enabled when we don't disable it.
Yes. When we don't fuse those transistors.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you got to think AMD. That's the reason that you have your 6, 8, now 12-core chips that you can afford.
For now. We'll see how that...
I mean, yes, AMD's proven time and time again that they will fuck you just as hard given the chance.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
AMD's not friend.
Yeah, they are as short-sighted as Intel when they're on top.
Yes.
Apparently, it's really cloudy up there.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing, man. Like, and both AMD and NVIDIA have just like fucked off with the low middle end of
Yep.
Yeah, like AMD's chasing NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is like, fuck it, we're a premium brand, get wrecked. Quit being poor.
And yet, the mock the 3050 gig as much as you want because they deserve it. NVIDIA is still the one targeting, the poor, the people with the pre-builts that don't have the extra 6 or 8 pin power connector for the
Hi,
GPU.
Pedro, I'm AMD. Here's a laptop. Hang on, let me get some more
here's
tape
the
on it.
6400.
Get another roll of tape. There we go. This is a new GPU. We call it the 6400.
The 6400. That's worse in performance.
We actually
in
found
several.
a way to manufacture a vintage 64-bit memory bus.
It's worse than their previous generation, the 5500 XT. Outperforms the 6400 in several games. It's like, You fucked up severely.
But our DNA too, baby. Come on.
Current gen.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with the 7800s, right? Like they bumped down the core counts and whatnot because they're like, oh yeah, our new architecture is going to kick so much ass. They're like, not really.
Is it really?
Yeah. So, I say this as a happy owner of a 7800 XT. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've been following AMD GPUs since it was Radeon Technology Group, and like the entire time, it has always been, don't worry, that next generation, that's going to be the one that we're going to get parity. Hasn't happened yet.
I mean,
on Linux,
like
we're
the
pretty
value
close
to
though.
performance, absolutely, but in terms of efficiency, they're nowhere near
Yeah.
NVIDIA at this point. Then again, if you want to look at the worst case in terms of efficiency, you always have Intel.
You do. That's what I was going to say. The 770 looked good on paper until you saw how much power it drew. And like, there is a lot of engineering dollars that I think about that. Like, I got this 3060 12 gig. When it's sitting not doing anything, what's it drawing? Like 7 watts. And it's doing stuff, but not like actively.
Yeah, no, my 6700 XT idles at 28 watts.
Retire their 710s. Yeah.
Yeah, and the 710 uses like 20 watts at full loads.
Well, so here's the thing: if I were creating a computer lab for students, I would absolutely buy the 6400s so that they can't actually game on them. That's the big brain play, right? Like that's the galaxy brain move.
Laughs in 5600G. Actually, you can game on 5600Gs. There's got
You
like,
can absolutely, yeah.
Damn. We gotta go lower, man. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, we can get like one of the OG APU.
The Kaveri,
Yeah, like they have
The
AM4
bulldozer
versions of
Or
like,
the A4s.
Yeah.
That they
yeah,
have in
the
some
real
laptops.
shitty ones. Yeah.
Yes.
You're not gaming up. Well, I mean, somebody probably is right now.
I mean, you can play Vampire Survivors. Probably.
Maybe.
Wait a second, I have a netbook with a shitty APU. The C60, the Brazos, with the 6590 HD.
Dude, speaking as like
But
life
can I play
finds
Vampire
a way, man.
Survivors?
I mean, I've absolutely had some shitbox PCs, and I was still playing games, dude.
Yeah, you make do. Sometimes it's like, yes, it's averaging about 17 frames a second, but whatever, it's fine.
For the kind of game it is, fine, I can do it.
That game is Doom 2016. I mean, it's a lot easier when everything is slow and you can think about where you want to place your shots and.
Oh man, Proxmox. Oh boy. Speaking of Broadcom, dude, Broadcom just like killed VMware.
Yep.
I mean,
Speaking of Proxmox, a buddy in another Discord I'm in was like, yeah, so I need something new to host my virtual machines because I'm in my home lab. So what am I going to do?
I was seeing a dude talking about their VMware bill to get renewed was going from something like 18 grand to 62 grand.
Oh my God.
Like Broadcom don't even want to know you exist unless you're writing like serious checks.
And it's like, it's crazy because if you talk to a lot of engineers, they're like, a lot of larger companies are moving out of cloud and back to on-prem.
Yes.
Because it's cheaper, but not with VMware. No, sir. VMware's like, oh, let me give you a more compelling bill, a reason to stay in the cloud.
I don't know, man.
That's with Azure, Microsoft charges the moment you do anything. They immediately start charging you. Ooh, what's that? You want to start setting up Sentinel so that you have at least an idea of what's running and you have a centralized way to check everything? Yeah, we're immediately going to start charging you as soon as you set it up. Yeah. cloud's expensive.
Cloud is cheap if you build your shit for cloud, but no one did. Everyone just did a big lift and shift. And they're like, yeah, we're in Amazon now. Even though we're paying, what, like $500 a month for a server with like a gig of RAM and like one vCPU.
I mean, if you're on Amazon, like you got corporate backing anyway, so.
Well, and like when I build out shit for Amazon, I build the shit to be cloud native, right? Like you take advantage of all the task scheduling stuff and don't actually run shit in EC2 yourself.
Because you're looking at it and you're what you said. A lot of people's like, let's just move from HAR to HAR.
Yeah.
Then we don't have to worry about it. Which that's not even true. You still got to worry about it.
So you still got to worry about it now. And now it's like, oh, US East is down. Right. Good luck.
Oh, dude, Aminal's East. That'll take out
East Coast, Beast Coast, baby.
dude. Amazon go down. Cloudflare at this point. That is a big problem. If Cloudflare has a hiccup.
If Cloudflare has a hiccup, fucking Azure stops working.
I believe it, dude.
Well, you gotta wonder like what the incestuous relationship is between all these cloud providers, where like some shit is back ending onto other stuff because like they don't have the overhead, so they're buying like shit on other cloud providers to run their own infra. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no,
I wonder how big that Ouroboros is.
Cloudflare had a hiccup. I hit refresh on the work browser. It's like, oh yeah, because it did.
I don't know, man. Like, he's running like weird stuff. Like, there's something about. I'm way more adventurous if I got to mess with a system and I'm on premises than I am if I don't care if I got full power control over it. Like, if I know if I can physically get over to the fucking machine, I can. I just feel safer. That might be, that's just old. I understand that, but also I cannot figure out how to get Cloudflare tiered caching to work correctly. No, neither of them are muted. They've just fucked off.
Yes. I was reading the blurb from the Wikipedia article of May East.
I'm trying to keep all the fluids from escaping my head at the moment. Oh man! What?
So everybody knows that Twitch is left Korea, right? We talked about that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did briefly.
And that was basically, this is what, because we're talking about like peering arrangements and bandwidth. Korea was raking them, man. Well, like they do it. Twitch wasn't special. They do it for any
any streaming. Yeah, because like what is it like? ISPs have to pay for the data going out, and like the providers do as well, or like the service providers need to as well.
This is just a UTax.
Okay.
Like there's no real reason for this other than they can. They did it to Netflix and they
but right, but like the actual mechanism is like charging both the service provider and the ISP or something like that.
It's double dipping. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. You're right. Yeah. So Twitch just finally said like we can't fucking turn a profit, which sucked for like all the Twitch affiliates and partners and that were in Korea.
A bunch of esports teams.
Esports is huge in Korea, right? Yeah.
And Amazon's like, dude, we can't make this work. It's been real, but we're not going to be doing that. So Korea was like, well,
they're going to fine him on the way out.
Yeah, $300,000 for leaving.
Oh, what's that? Breach of contract? $300K.
Well, I mean, like, it's not like they're going to pay it, right? Like, or what? You double can't do business in Korea.
Yeah, they are going to pay it because who owns Twitch?
Shmamazon, yeah.
And who operates in Korea? Amazon.
Alibaba?
Yes. They're going to pay it. They're going to get $300,000. And
I mean, it's $300,000. They make that in
Yeah.
Oh, look, they already made that.
That is literally peanuts. That is crumbs of peanuts. That is the little crystal of honey garlic thing at the bottom of the peanut jar after you have licked the jar clean that you missed.
Like Apple, that at one point they forgot they had a bank account with $6 billion in it.
Yeah, you just find that
They
shit
just
under the
forgot.
couch, right?
Can Amazon now is that last mile, man? It's the ISPs like oh. I mean, I don't even think of it. I feel bad for anybody that had like, you know, esports and people doing streams, like people just living in fucking Korea, dude, like doing their thing, chilling out.
I mean, like Twitch streaming is like an avenue for self-employment that a lot of people are using now because like,
or it could just be like a little side thing that you got
Yeah.
going on. You're like, oh, cool, man. I got, you know, like whatever.
yeah, finding work these days is hard, especially because like no one's hiring for good positions. They're hiring for bad positions.
Mm-hmm.
IP, yeah, we're gonna run out of those eventually. That's what they told me in university. You want to know how long ago it was?
Well,
At one point, Portugal had all of its previously allocated IPv4s in use. I don't think that's the case anymore.
So here's the thing though, is like it's kind of a non-issue these days, especially with NAT and SNI, right? Like you can hot host up any number of host names on a single IP address, right? So and like if you think about Cloudflare, right? Like you don't buy an IP from Cloudflare. Cloudflare has a block of them, and they just serve their shit out, right? And it's all DNS routed. So. Yeah. I still think like well and like mobile uses IPv6 like that is fully rolled out. I think for like cellular networks I'm pretty sure
that makes sense.
Yeah,
like we need to I need a billion of a thing. All right, let's go. 100% that makes plenty of sense. But yeah, I was told as a youth like dude, and setting up IPv6 is such a pain in the ass.
Dual stack sucks, man. It's,
yeah, with IP4 fallback.
Yeah, no. If you're gonna do it, do one or the other. Just save yourself some heartache.
No, but you get to do a victory lap when you go test it. It works.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you do, and then you're like, and I will never touch this again because it's working now, and I don't know what I did to make it work.
I know.
I don't remember what I did, and I don't care to.
Don't care. It made it work. Probably in Secure Zell, but it worked. You know what? I had IPv6 set up here at the house because my SP supports it, and right up until the point where I had to manually, I was in a position I found myself where I had to manually key in a fucking address.
Yeah. Well,
is it one of the simple ones that you can just go,
yeah,
ooh, that was just F.
Nope, couldn't get away with just the beginning. Nope, tried that. I was like, that's not gonna be too bad. Keep going. Oh, that block. Nope. Okay. IPv4 it is. Except for mobile devices, you know. Anything with DHCP here in the studio, which is light bulbs.
Well, that and the nice thing too is you get like with IPv6 on mobile is that the MAC address is tied to the actual IPv or the IP address of the thing itself. So it's, I mean, it's a pro and con, I guess, to easily fingerprint devices because like, yeah, basically everything is just using its MAC address now. But like, also,
like there's a very simple command on the MikroTik to be like make static.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's MikroTik, so I'm sure it's in the GUI. It's just under 13 to 14 menus.
Here, let's go look up this video tutorial. it's very 30 minutes in.
This option? All right. Okay,
dude,
so
there's this great
here.
Jamaican dude who does MikroTik tutorials with like smooth jazz in the background. He's my favorite guy in the world. Because any random bullshit question, that dude's there to save your ass, man.
All right. Fair enough.
And
you get the soothing lounge music. Yeah.
You just fucking chill out and listen to the guy. Like, I've learned a lot of shit from that guy. MAC address? Maybe. I remember when that was like, oh, you big hacker man. If you can spoof your MAC address. Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
You don't think twice about that. Like, that shit's built into Android now.
Yep. Oh no, my Ethernet network is compromised.
Yeah, but I mean, you need to pay attention to security now, just because like all your IoT shit, like that needs to like you need to know how to set up a fucking VLAN, man, and put that toxic stuff over your.
What's that?
Oh,
You bought a new
nice
fridge?
and self-contained and null routed.
The
Do
fridge
you have a
needs to
default
update.
gateway?
Okay,
No.
the fridge can go and get the update. It can't do anything else.
What was that dude's washing machine that like used was sending up like 2 gigabytes of fucking data a day or some shit like that?
Jeez. I should check my
Washing machine or dryer
dishwasher.
or something like that.
I should actually check that on my dishwasher. Because it sends alerts when like the dishwasher is done, which is really convenient because you know you will start it up and absolutely forget about it for a couple days.
Yeah. Which is safe.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
I mean, if it was a clothes washer, then yeah, that would be
I'm
a
just
bit
thinking
more
like I rarely ever
critical.
use my dishwasher, but I'm just like if I get a notification, I'm like, oh look, I have a notification to remind me that I can't be fucked to go on. Swipe. I'm not opposed to buying like internet connected stuff, but I'm not going to go to my way for it.
Yeah. Looking
I
at
try
buying
to
a new
avoid
door
it
lock
if I can.
And then-
I try to avoid it.
I'm looking at buying a new like latch and lock for my front door because just it's a little old and crappy. They're like, yes, Wi-Fi connected smart lock. I'm like, no, do not connect to my Wi-Fi network and unlock my door. Fuck that shit at all. No, not at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. The company went out of business. You can't go into your house anymore.
I like how you can just plug a Raspberry Pi into my door and gain access to my house. It's great.
Yeah, I guess like in I've looked into that, and somebody probably was like, what if they do go out of business and like somebody clap back with a very logical thing that I was like, then it turns into a regular lock. You use the key.
Some of them don't have keys though.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
No, it was that one that I joked about. It happened. It was one of the. I know they sold on Amazon. I don't think they were part of Amazon anything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they didn't have keys, and the servers went down, and people were just left out of their
Every
homes
single
'cause they
one of
couldn't-
those motherfuckers deserves to be locked out of their house. If you buy a fucking automatic internet and it doesn't have a key in it, get fucked. Have fun. Enjoy. Learn how to kick your door in because that's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
I have zero sympathy.
It is absolutely the internet of shit.
Everything, dude. The goddamn vape things got Bluetooth in it.
My PAX was like, when I wanted to tie it to my phone, it's like, do you want to share your location data? Like, no. No one needs to know where I'm getting high.
Or at the very least, like, thanks for asking.
At least you didn't default on.
Yes. Oh yeah, I posted that trailer for Boy Kills World.
Yeah, that just pissed me off.
I'm like, where's John Benjamin?
I was waiting the entire fucking trailer because I knew nothing about anything of that. I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
going to, because I was like, oh, so he's going to be older. And I didn't know H. John Benjamin was going to be in a movie, and he fucking wasn't.
Yeah, he's the guy's internal monologue.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I would love. You know what? I kind of want. I kind of want like a Freeman's Mind done by H. John Benjamin.
It's too fucking distracting.
Just Archer in Ravenholm.
Yeah, right. Then like YouTube, like immediately like gave me a recommendation of like, oh, an interview with H. John, and then he was talking about like, yeah, I got spotted in a fucking airport where I was like screaming at my kid trying to. And he was like, he was in really bad trouble too, and I was really trying to. And this guy, why he's like, wait a minute, like, so I had to completely switch modes, and yeah, he's like, he got lucky that time. I mean, it's going to be fucking distracting if you're going through the airport and you hear fucking Archer getting unhinged on his fucking kid.
Well, because you get Bob's Burgers too, so it's Bob's yelling at his kids. Yeah. Damn it, Tina.
Oh no, I did like when Facebook went down and they couldn't get into their own building.
Oh, really?
Because they had everything tied to their system.
No, so sorry. It wasn't Facebook went down. They got removed from the internet for like 3 hours because their BGP routes didn't propagate. Yeah, so they didn't go down. They disappeared for a little bit.
That was wild, man. What was it? AT&T went down this week, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think the majority of it happened like overnight, but yeah, I saw a lot of people like, I can't, like, their cellular and all that stuff went down. And I'm like, oof. And
Virgin Media had one of those a couple of months ago where they were
a lot of
offline for about 8 hours.
There's been a lot of Rogers outages out in Ontario recently, and it sucks because I'm on Bell, so I can't use it as an excuse to not work.
Just reading about that reminded me of like the first DSL, not even VDSL I got was piggybacked off AT&T because like AT&T's DSL was like crazy expensive, and they do have deregulation in the States enough to where you could get a different DSL provider. And I had this one company and they were great. I had them like 2 years and it just went off one day. Like, all right, fine. I'm going to do something. Come back. And it was like 9 p.m. when I got back home. I'm like, why are you still off? Didn't have a cellular hotspot or anything. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to be doing anything on the internet this evening. And this was early enough, you know. I was like, we'll just give it a day or two. Then I finally was like, fine, whatever. And I went over to a friend's house. I'm like, I got to look this up. They just went out of business.
That's nothing exciting. They're just ran out of money.
They had a thing like, you can keep your equipment, whatever, we're out of business, deal with it. Which apparently that happened with Charter or Cox. One of the there used to be a network in the United States called At Home, which was like a big chunk of the internet that just went out of business in like the early 2000s.
Was it part of like the .com bust or whatever?
I don't remember.
Yeah, because there were a lot of companies that just like blinked out of existence. Gateway computers. I guess they're Walmart now. Walmart owns Gateway,
Yes.
so yeah.
And
In
Acer
Canada,
bought
we had
E-machines.
MDG. E-machines. Yeah.
Dude, I want to like. I want E-machine like rack-mounted servers, dude.
Oh, Acer owns Gateway? Okay.
Acer
then
owns Gateway?
We're entirely confused.
Acer owns E-machines.
Oh, they own both. Okay, right.
These motherfuckers, yeah. 2001. Oh, dude, United States, Canada, Japan, Australia.
Ooh.
Yeah, they just fucked off one day. I didn't know Gateway was still around.
So Mir, turns out you're fucking wrong according to Wikipedia. Revival as an Acer label in 2020.
Wait, what? No, I'm confused.
Wait,
Acer
so you're
bought
saying
Packard- what?
so is an Acer label sold exclusively through Walmart? So it is Walmart. We're both right. Okay.
Oh,
It's sold at Walmart, but Acer technically
well,
owns
we
them.
can't. No. Somebody needs to be more right.
Yes, it's a zero sum game, right? Nuance can't exist. No.
Yeah, I knew about the E-machines because they sold Acer E-machines for a while. I don't know if they still do. And Packard Bell apparently as well.
Packard Bell.
Which Packard Bell. It's not owned by Hewlett Packard
or Bell.
or Bell.
90s computers, man. Gateway had the cow one, right?
The cows, yeah. Gateway was the cows. And did they also have a "Do you think you really want a clone"? No, you don't remember that commercial?
No.
There was a song where it's like, do you want to? Oh, that might have been MDG. Never mind. That might have been a Canadian commercial. Never.
Oh, I was like, I could sip out of their bagged milk or some shit.
Well, because like it was the same kind of deal, right? Like buy cheap computers, pay monthly or whatever, right?
Oh,
There were a lot of those deals in Portugal. It's like if you bought a computer with a dial-up modem, you would just pay the monthly dial-up, and that would rebate the cost of the PC over like 2 years or something.
what was the free dial-up thing called?
AOL.
No, Net Zero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was
Dude.
that free or was
Yeah,
that?
put like a banner ad on the bottom of your screen. This guy.
I've heard of Net Zero, but I don't think I ever used it or knew anyone who.
It's still around, dude. Wait, never mind. Wait, no, yeah, maybe there. Oh.
A lot of people are still using dial-up, like especially in rural areas.
Over here in the UK, a lot of people are still using dial-up. Fuck's sake.
Didn't Walmart buy the, was it Vizio?
Yep,
Yeah.
Yes.
that's what Patrick was saying.
Oh. Oh,
You accidentally agreed with him. Ooh.
okay. I gave up trying to be right on the internet a long time ago.
I pretend to try.
All right, everybody. Here's about that time. I remember Acer used to be like the budget brand.
Yep.
They were for some things.
I just remember very distinctly somebody brought me like an Acer desktop, and this is a mechanical hard drive. And desktop case, right? Hard drive was mounted in the back right-hand corner.
Behind the motherboard?
No, you got the motherboard, right?
Yeah.
You got the case. It was in the back right-hand corner, mounted to the side of the case. Vertically.
Oh, right. Yeah.
For no reason. There were empty bays up front.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't have no
To be
desire.
fair, the most recent laptop that I installed, Acer laptop that I installed Linux on, was the Chromebook, and it's not using their BIOS anymore. It has Core Boot. And yeah, no, that it works really well. And Core Boot, gives you absolutely no options, but that's fine because it's a Chromebook, and it gave me no options to start with. So
I mean, it's Chromebook, right?
yeah.
You're like, meh.
And you install proper Linux on it, and it has the touchscreen, and it does the fold out into tablet mode. It's like, oh, this is actually a nice tablet thingy to have near
But
the
how do
bed
you live
so
without
I can
caps
read
lock?
before I go to sleep.
How do you live without caps lock, though?
Dude,
That's fine. I use the touchscreen to type.
how many times I've bit my own ass by accidentally hitting caps locks on, because this keyboard has no LEDs on it, which I like, and not even a caps lock key. That will bite you in the ass when entering passwords. You don't
can work
realize you
around
hit the
it.
key.
Yes.
can
Luckily,
have
most
the panel
most
widget.
software is
Yeah.
nice to be like, hey, caps lock is on, by the way.
Yeah, you can have the panel widget, and I know that one exists on XFCE because I used it. It's on by default on new versions of KDE, which is whenever you hit one of the lock keys, it gives you a little icon on the notification area to
Why
say,
would I waste
this key
system
is on.
resources on a panel widget to tell me? Fucking
it saves the battery on the keyboard.
Precious system resources. Those microseconds.
We're pretty deep into year 3 on this. For these two
Triple A's.
maybe. Yeah. Dude.
There's just snakes inside now.
Like, they were no joke. Like, they said 6 years. And I'm starting to believe it. They said 10 on the number pad. So
That's that uses Wi-Fi Direct. It's not Bluetooth, right?
right, it's got its own.
Yeah.
It's on fucking 2.4 because of yeah. That's why
It comes with a little
2.4.
dongle.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, yeah, those keyboards, like, you only ever need to like tap the battery when you actually hit a key, right?
I guess.
Signal.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
So much better than the first one I ever saw. The first wireless keyboard a friend of mine bought used IR.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you pointing it in the right
It
direction?
worked really good right in front of the monitor. That was it.
I had an Asus wireless keyboard for a while. It dropped keys. It just dropped
Pedro.
key.
Did you have a Game Boy Color?
Yes. The transparent
Did you
purple
ever
one.
use the little IR thing at the top?
Yes. To send the Pokemon pictures.
I tried once and it didn't fucking work.
We got it to work by basically having two like
you have to,
rubber
like-
erasers.
Yeah.
Rubber erasers on they couldn't be like, you know, immediately against each other.
Right. Yeah. You
So we had them on the table with rubber erasers so that they were lined up perfectly. And then
Yeah,
hit the button.
we tried to do it by hand. You probably had
Yeah.
the smarter approach of like, but we were around a swimming pool at the time. It was like, hold on, I got my Game Boy here. Let me trade you a Pokemon, fellow geek that I ran into at the swimming pool.
Yeah, no, we did that. It was like, okay, we tried to do it like holding them and like up against each other. That wouldn't work. So we set them down on the table. It's like there. Oh, that works. Cool.
Yeah, neat idea. Piss poor execution. Like a lot of Nintendo stuff. But you gotta give them credit for like experimenting. Mm-hmm. Like, Labo was probably the boldest thing I had ever seen out of Nintendo in a good long while.
Was that the
Build your
cardboard
peripherals with
stuff?
cardboards.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, that's honestly, that's pretty bold. Like, I wouldn't expect that out of, like, Microsoft or Sony would never try anything like that.
And then again, you also have Google with the cardboard.
But that was a joke, wasn't it? That was an April Fool's
It
joke
was a
that turned
joke
into a.
that they actually made into a thing.
Well, that was the thing, though. Like, yeah, it started off as a goof. Ugh.
Which I never tried. I never tried any of the Google Cardboard stuff. I know people that did. It's like, yeah, no, it was a gimmick. All right. Guess I didn't miss much.
But yeah, like everything is so safe now. It's kind of sad. No one takes risks.
It's the thing that's going to sell the most. Hit the lowest common denominator and
Yep.
never anything else. Which is why I love indie video games, because they're not beholden to big money. So they can do whatever the hell they want. And that's awesome.
Me too, Patrick. Me too.
Yeah, I suspect I had the Rona earlier this year, but all the tests came back negative. But that knocked me out. That was the worst cold I'd had in over 10 years.
My wife is doing the Paxlovid antiviral treatment because she almost died the last time we got COVID. And like that's fucking rough because like apparently it makes your mouth taste like loose change constantly. Mm-hmm. You get like random muscle soreness and you're tired all the time.
I didn't,
Yeah.
because the queues for that were several weeks wait. So yeah, I bought the tests Like, I bought new tests because, okay, we had the old ones. They might not detect the new variants. So I bought new tests. Nothing. Right? And it took me 3 days that I was just unable to move effectively. And then I was fine. But yeah, no, those were some shit 3 days.
What's great too is I'm dog sitting, so I have to help walk dogs and shit.
Wear a mask.
Yep. It's like, it was like minus 24 out this morning.
Oh yeah, Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. Next week it's supposed to be like 14 degrees or some shit, but like this week fucking sucks.
Yeah, it got a lot colder here because it was hitting regularly like 13, 14, 15. This week, max 6. All right.
Yeah, I'll still take that over minus 14 with the wind.
Yes.
The wind that just cuts through all your shit and like you just feel it. So that was the nice thing about living in Calgary is that the air is very dry there, so it gets to like minus 40, but you don't really feel it until your appendages fall off.
Mm-hmm. The humidity here, I think today was actually a little bit lower than usual. It was down to like 70-ish%. Because it's usually between 80 and 100% humidity. Why would you disable Alt F4 though? You don't disable Alt F4 ever.
That's how you pay respects. Alt F4 and Control W to pay respects.
F10 if you're playing a Valve game. F10. Someone asks, how do I do this? F10. Person has disconnected. Neat. Ooh, 26 Celsius. That's a bit much. In the northern hemisphere, no, that's a bit much.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be nice for right now. Imagine later on in the year. Oh, what's that, 50? All right. It wasn't last year, it was the year before. My mom called me during the summer. It's like, yeah, we haven't left the house in like 2 weeks because it's been 50 Celsius outside. Oh, okay.
Wait, where is Basil?
That's a very good question. I don't know. I know he's in the northern hemisphere, but that's it.
Like, where the fuck is it 26 degrees here? California, maybe? I don't know.
South Texas. Yeah, there you go.
Texas. Okay.
I don't know. It got up to like, 14 today, man?
It's supposed to be 16 next week.
Yeah. It's going to be 21 next Wednesday.
It was minus 14 this morning. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Not fun. Not fun, especially when you're sick. You're just like, 7 o'clock in the morning. It's freezing. Walking dogs.
All right, everybody. Let's rock and roll.
Do it.
Yeah.
We do a thing. Just to let you know, we're not going to be doing an after show tonight, not because we dislike you, not because we broke up, but Jordan's sick and Pedro's got to do a thing with Nori because it's her birthday tomorrow.
Sorry, folks.
Aw.
Yes.
That's why we did a little extra long pre-show. Which means that you can all go to bed on time.
No.
On time was a few hours ago.
What time do you normally go to bed, Pedro?
1 a.m.
On Friday.
Regular weekdays, and yeah. No, it's usually 1 a.m. because that's when I start to feel sleepy.
Feel sleepy.
Yes.
That's a lie, man. That's my body messing with me. My body's like, hey, man, go lay down. Go take a nap. You're tired. And I lay down. I was like, hey, man, let's look up some stuff.
And I read the SCP Foundation when I go to bed. And I know it's time to shut down when I go, okay, no, let's just close tablet down. There, done.
All right. Good. We're recording. I should get back up to the top. Intro. And boop.
Gamotron, doesn't Strider give you shit when you don't go to sleep or some shit? I don't know.
What?
I'm vaguely remembering something. I have no idea. Maybe I made it up. It's the Steam. Wrong.
Have a good one, Gamatron.
Give it a minute. All right. We're gonna go? Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's do it. And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. I'm Old Man Ben here at LGC Axel. I'll be switching the bits, piloting the SS. Probably don't want to bring that up from the pre-show. Not Taint.
The T-Scraper. Let's call it
the T-Scraper, yes. The T-Scraper 9000 with the help of one Jordan Swang up in Toronto land where it was minus 14 degrees, but he's Canadian. He was born in it.
I'm part Ice Cube.
Part Ice Cube. Speaking of ice cubes, Pedro Mateus, everyone's favorite ice cube.
Where?
Formerly artist known as Water Pedro.
Yeah, formerly of Body Count.
Yes.
Wait, no, that's Ice T.
Now the star of
I got my ice wrappers confused.
One thing we'll never confuse is Cocaine Voltron with you at home, helping us form them. You know it. You love it. I keep forgetting that does that automatically. I'm so proud of myself, and I've completely forgotten what I did to make it do that. It's awesome. Don't you love shit like that? What's going
lost
on,
for the
man?
ages.
We got a lot of stuff to unpack this week. Unlike last week, where it was like, it's kind of a light week, and then there was like, poof, all that happened. Wine, 800%. Like that's not clickbait. That's not clickbait in the title, man. It is not. 678%. Improvements. We get to talk about open source NVIDIA drivers. New protons. Dude, don't even know where to start. One thing I finished up this week was something I showed up on the show a couple of weeks ago. Was that Tascam Fire 1 audio thing, which had like a big jog wheel on it and had an audio interface. And it was from 2007, which was the interesting thing, because that was like 13 years before PreSonus made their own little version of Control Surface / audio interface. And I plugged it into a modern Linux system just to see, hey man, what can you do? Turns out you can do a lot. I got all the write-up, the video, everything together. If you want to go take a look at that on interfacinglinux.com, just if you're curious. That was pretty much my week, gentlemen. Jordan, outside of being a vector for the plague, what you got going on, baby?
Not much. Most of my week was spent just oozing and schmoozing.
Marinate
No schmoozing. no schmoozing, because there's just plenty of oozing, and I gotta be responsible and not transmit diseases to the rest of the community. Yeah, no, it was a pretty low key week, all things considered. I started playing Portal Reloaded multiplayer again, and with another friend of mine.
Yeah.
And this time I'm the time portal guy instead of the space portal guy. So it's now I don't remember the puzzles, and also I'm now doing what Empty was doing during our playthrough. So I'm extra fucked.
So you at least have the like false confidence of like having some idea what you're going on.
It's like I vaguely remember it doing this, but I was on the other side, so I don't remember. Dude. Yeah,
you can at least get everybody in. Like, okay, I know we need to at least be here, right?
Yeah. Where you eventually you're like, okay, so we need to get this over there and this over there and this over there.
How do we do that?
That's great. Yeah. How the fuck does that happen?
Shrug emoji.
Let's start trial and error, right?
Hang on, let me go check a YouTube video right quick.
And again, it just confirms to me that if I ever got stuck in a sci-fi scenario, I would be dead in like under a minute. Right?
Dude, so many of those scenarios. My first thought is like I'm running towards the thing that's going to kill everyone, because it's like I don't want to survive this shit. Like zombie outbreak, bite me.
Or just like the causality shit. Like, what if I just touched that and then I was never born? Right? Like,
Pedro Mateus, how you doing, man?
I have been, I've been wrapping up literally every piece of content that I can in New World without involving other human beings, because I know it's an MMO, but I still don't like people, so I will do as much as I can.
MMOs that has like unlocked okay, so having to play with other people like in a group or party doesn't like block progression, right?
No, the most you can get through most of the main quests by yourself. It's literally just the last of the main quests that is an expedition, which is what they call the party quests. And
so it's endgame content, right?
Yeah, basically all of the endgame content, the raids, the party quests, so on and so forth. Those you have to engage with the multiplayer. So right now I've done everything, literally everything that the world offers that I can do by myself, I've done. So now I'm sitting here going, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to interact with people now.
Are you gonna do it?
Possibly, because I really enjoy what the game has offered up to this point. Okay. So I may have to, bite my tongue and just do it.
This reminds me of a quote from a YouTube video I heard where it's like, inside you are two wolves, neither of which can pick up a phone.
Yes.
Can we text?
Yeah.
Have either of you like given a initial thought or a second thought or a 13th thought to like Helldivers?
I wanted to take a look at it, but I heard that it also like has like 100% GPU utilization on the loading screen. So
yeah, like there is that, but like I don't know if I think maybe I'm only interested in it because it's tied into Starship Hookers. Oh, I'm like,
sweet liberty, no.
Oh, fill those holes with freedom.
Play it, and I like the Aliens
Fireteam
Colonial Marine. Yes,
the one that we played.
Yes, I very much enjoy that, but I'm looking at people playing Helldivers 2, and I'm going, I don't feel that same.
It might be one of those things, because like a lot of games don't translate. Like, what is it? Lethal Company translates very well to streaming, because it's just that constant thing. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely watched a couple of people streaming it, but I haven't paid attention to it. It never got me like, ooh, what's going on? Unlike like Lethal Company, I'm like, oh, what are they about to get into? What are they about to get into? Oh, yeah, it's like a run and gun, but hey, man.
Lethal Company is also, it has that slapstick element too. That is just yeah.
It's dark sci-fi comedy. Yes.
It's that chaos of like, oh, are they playing with new people? Neat.
Oh, are they experienced people? Let's still watch them fuck up this jump.
The experienced people I'll start watching because like they have its strats so far beyond like.
Yeah, I still feel good when we get like Jen and Jalad and like their kids in, and like those guys play a shit ton of Lethal Company, and they still can't make those fucking jumps over the gaps. I'm like, really makes me feel better about myself.
Oh yeah, like there's something like, oh yeah, you got disappear. Like, there you go.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
gone.
Geometry was not on your side this time.
Ah, man, something that's never going to be able to disappear is our horse, Jordan.
I mean, it disappears and reappears and disappears and reappears. It's like a bad phantasm. It's the Steam.
Oh boy. SAM 2023 Steam Annual Summary. You know it, you love it. Yeah, well, hey man, maybe you're a developer, but this is always a really good way to just kind of take a look at what's going on behind the scenes over there at Valve. And they got a couple of updates for us. They give a couple of mentions to what has gone on throughout the previous year. And things that we get reminded of. You know, they have the open beta for the shopping cart enhancements. We've talked about it on the show a couple of times. Inline gifting, which I always thought was like, why has that not always been a thing? Where I can just like, hey, I need to buy 2 more copies of this multiplayer game. Wouldn't it be neat if I could add Jordan and Pedro all at once? And it seems like, nah, baby, separate transactions. That's going to be changing, which is good. Unified cart, we've given that a mention. So, you know, especially with your Steam Deck, all of a sudden that became a priority.
I do like their choice of the private game. If you scroll up for the demo, it's like Bluey, the video game, and not some disgusting hentai nonsense.
Well, I mean, you got to hide what you got to hide because private games are now a thing, and you can hide your Bluey shame from the rest of your friends. And one of the things I didn't really realize was the categories for trailers. So if you're a game dev and you're uploading stuff, you can like mark it, be like, hey, this is the gameplay trailer. This is the bullshit cinematic trailer that no one's really interested in trailer, which is pretty decent. And yeah, what do you think? What do you guys think about those? Anything sticking out to you? There's virtual reality, which I'm like.
Yes. The interesting bit for me was the Steam Deck like bit at the bottom where they go, oh, the more the merrier. And they give a nod to the ROG Ally, the One X player, One X Fly, the Aeneo Air. Yeah, it's like, yes, it's great to see more people having handhelds. It would be great to see, you know, more people with SteamOS. And they have a section about SteamOS where I've taken one of the sentences that they've written, which is, SteamOS provides a huge set of features and tools that originated to support the Steam Deck use case, but immediately make the platform better for other users, whether they own a different handheld PC, play games with a controller, or enjoy Steam via a big screen TV. That's awesome, yes. Where is SteamOS for all of those other use cases?
You plug your
Everyone's
Steam
been
Deck
shouting.
into the TV. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You plug it into the TV because it's a console,
What,
right?
you don't play it with your hands, do you?
You can, but, you know, people also want to create
It's just
their
like the
own.
Switch, you know, but better
consoles
because it can run Switch games and PC games. But yeah. But like we talk about this article every year that it comes out. This is where your 30% cut goes to, and like the stuff like the big picture mode enhancements were really good, making it like run not like poo on NVIDIA systems. The new overlay I'm a big fan of, like the ability to take notes, having like all the timer widgets and stuff. It's real
and
handy.
pinning windows so that you can still see the game, but you can still see the semi-transparent windows if you're trying to follow something.
Yeah,
like one of the things though, man, like, you know, in the little bit about SteamOS and the Steam Deck, you know, with the Steam Deck, they came out and they're like, you know, we're not the only ones. For Valve, we're not the only ones that introduced amazing new hardware. Then they go on to, you know, talk about the ROG and everything else. But to what Pedro was saying, I want to come back around on, because they can't say the same thing about the software. The hardware, they're like, yeah, man, plenty of people have been able to release amazing hardware, which is true because all of the other not Steam Decks, they're pretty good specs on them, man. Like, they're not too bad. But that software, that SteamOS, Valve is, you know, they're getting, like, we're not letting that go. It seems like maybe somebody at Valve went, wait a minute, that is a competitive advantage. All of the reviewers are like, we like SteamOS better. Why? Because it's not fucking Windows on a handheld device.
Well, to your point, like the hardware on these new handhelds are like objectively better than the Steam Deck, like by a country mile.
It goes to show like how powerful software is, right? Like when it comes to like battery management, like even emulating, you know, Windows titles, like the best overall experience has been
or just
Steam
even getting
OS.
in games, or just getting into the games proper
yeah.
and like hooking up to a multiplayer session.
Right.
They put a lot of effort into it, and we saw like Microsoft like attempt to do a gamepad UI for Windows that seems to
You
have
leave
been
Windows
dropped.
8 out of this.
No, they tried it again. And then you see like the Legion software, like the Acer crap that they throw on there, and it's just not the same.
MSI.
It's not
like,
as
we're
good.
trying, man. But I mean, I am the longer this drags on, the more I realize that, or at least I believe that Steam is like, yeah, that's our competitive advantage. We're not really in a rush to just kind of put that out because it's really good at selling the Steam Decks. You know, when everybody's looking at it, it's like, oh, does it have Steam OS? It's like, no, but if you buy a Steam Deck, it does.
I still think the strategic move though is like eventually like position it as an alternative to Windows, because it's like, hey, look at our use case, look at the Steam Deck.
I agree with you 100%, but I also believe
Yeah.
that there's a tick box somewhere in like sales of Steam Decks.
Yeah. There's a threshold somewhere that
Like
they got
once
hit.
it goes over that, they're like, and now everybody else can have it. Until then,
Which makes sense because they're the ones who put in the R&D to make sure that the software was as, I don't want to say ingrained, but complementary to the hardware as it is. And yeah, they probably don't want to relinquish it. I understand that.
It's the O word, Pedro. Optimized.
Yes. I
dreaded
understand that, but at the same time, everyone's been shouting, come on, where's SteamOS 3? And you have projects like Holo ISO and Chimera OS.
Well,
and
you mentioned that, but like Aya's like, oh, we're gonna launch a console with Holo ISO, and everyone's like, fuck that shit. No.
dude,
and then they go, okay, fine, we'll release it with Windows 11. And everyone went, yeah.
and everyone was like, yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, it could be a strange time, but then again, we're in a freaking bubble of all bubbles on a Linux gaming podcast, right? Like we even know what Steam OS is because, you know, a lot of people out there are looking at Steam Decks and going, well, when are you going to, when's somebody going to release a Steam Deck emulator so I can play Steam Deck games on my PC?
I mean, those people probably have trouble like feeding themselves and like breathing.
You say that. Some people are 100% like, oh, that's just a gaming console. All right. Can I get an emulator for it? I can play them?
Mm-hmm. You can. It's called a KVM. Go on.
Do I need PC too?
Yeah. You just got to install. Yeah, it's called Linux. You just got to install it on your desktop, and then you can run all the Steam Deck games.
No, you stupid smelly nerds. No, give me my EXE.
Hey, I'm a good smelling nerd. I took a shower, damn it.
Fine.
But I'm not a good sounding nerd.
Binaural nerd.
Well, but maybe you can get some 3D audio going on while you're at it with Steam's new open source Steam Audio. It's they've with the new version of Steam Audio, they've released a source. It's released under Apache 2, which is a proper open source license, so very good. I had to actually go and find out, okay, what's a Steam Audio? It's a 3D sound API. It integrates with other sound middleware and game engines like Unity, Unreal's, whatever.
They were using it for Alex.
Yes, it is the primary use case. Is very much the what they call the HRTF, which is head-related transfer function. Which basically,
I just realized that I have monosynths for you guys. I was going to start messing with you with that.
Yeah, it's basically how sound behaves by going into, your two ears, and they try to replicate that, which is very important if you're trying to do some kind of 3D audio for VR, or if you have a really immersive game that you want to try, maybe, consider using Steam Audio because, hey, it's open source now.
Lethal Company, right? Let's just jump right back into that. I mean, this is the fruits of the Impulse Sonic, the middleware that they got back in 2017. So they're just rolling this out. They're like, hey, we've been through it. We cleaned it up. Go out there, have some fun with it. And it's so rare to see a soulless corporation, which Valve is. Let's not kid ourselves. They're a privately owned soulless corporation.
They like their money.
Yeah. Money printing machine on top of it. Just doing cool stuff like this. Like, This is worrying me. Not about Valve. Well, yeah, I guess it is about Valve, man, because when you see a company as large as Valve, you know, size-wise, not employee headcount, but with that much control, still doing cool shit like this, not turning evil, like not being like going out of their way to do evil shit.
Overtly evil, yes.
Yeah, like standard business practices. What's
Still
the,
scummy.
that's what that's known as today, right? Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking though. I worry about what Valve is going to be post Newell. You know, are we going to see like what we saw? Because I have flashbacks to like what id used to be when Carmack was there, and you know we used to get game engine source code releases because Carmack pushed for it. Like that was, he was like, yo, this is what we're doing. I want to show off people all the cool shit I'm working on. Carmack left, that stopped.
I think especially today though, people like really understand the value of open source, especially from the technology space. Like you see companies like Microsoft
space, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like even Microsoft is open sourcing stuff, right? Like once upon a time, the big bad wolf of proprietary software is releasing stuff under an open source license. And I think if as long as like technically minded people are steering Valve, they will understand the value of like getting people to utilize and improve upon and just adopt their technologies in general.
Like get that because, dude.
But again, this is as long as the engineering people are in place. Once the business people start getting their driving the wheels, then that goes out the window. You're right.
Like with id, yes, Carmack left and we stopped getting the source. But at the same time, Carmack left shortly after Bethesda bought id. The problem there is Bethesda. The problem there is the big money company that went in and said, no, you do things our way. So
to the point of why you need a Carmack at a company like that, because it takes somebody that high up to be able to go, get fucked. We're doing it anyway.
Yeah. So someone with a backbone and some technical chops to back it up, right? Like, and yes. I guess the seniority too, like the ability to. Well, I don't know, because like these days you can just like freewheel and fire your executive team, right? It's not that people being embedded in the boards isn't that big a thing anymore.
I don't know. I mean, I think like a lot of people I do. I hope. I never want to like look back on the insert current date and go, man, remember when Valve used to be cool? Because we've seen it so many times in Google, right? Google. Remember when Google was like the scrappy startup doing crazy stuff? Now it's like Google. Oh boy. Or maybe you don't. Let me tell you about Google. Google used to be really cool. Yeah. They did cool stuff. They released Nexus. Remember those things? They used to be cool, man.
Nexus devices, Google Reader, Google Plus.
Now Google literally eats puppies.
Yes.
Probably. Well, I don't know. Let's talk about Proton 9.
That's how GCP runs, right? It's pure puppy power.
Beta 11. What's Proton? It lets you play your Windows titles under Linux. But what about Wine? We'll get to Wine in a minute. It's still Wine, but it's got a nice flashy play button on the top of it.
It's got the XVK on top of it.
Doesn't it? It's got a couple of things, man. This is, like now playable games. Dinogen Online, and finally, Photography Simulator Demo. Yes.
And finally, now that it's out of experimental, we can experience Lord of the Rings Gollum in all of its amazing glory out of the box.
You also, joke about that shit.
George McGee and Gamer Hero. What the fuck is that shit?
I'm buying the absolute snot out of that game when it does the WB $7.99 thing, like because I'll just add it to my collection of other games that I played for 45 minutes and never touched again from WB. What else do we got? Ooh, default scaling fix for the last game on Steam Deck. Oh, I thought we're not getting any more games on Steam Deck. That's a shame. Yep. They fixed Bayo for crashing on some systems, and they've updated, they rebased on 1.9 bonus, and updated distribution method to save disk space. Question mark shrug emoji. That's one of the notes. And let me give everybody a side note. If you haven't already, update to kernel 6.6 plus. Take advantage of that F-Sync. It's in there. It is dramatic difference on some titles. I'm looking at you, Trackmania 2020.
Well, it seems like racing games are all benefiting from a lot of these random line optimizations that we're going to be talking about later.
Well, I mean, Trackmania 2020 went from like on a 3060 at 1080p. It was struggling, man, to, at least on the Threadripper system, struggling to like hold. The frame pacing was atrocious, really, was the big problem. F-Sync, it's
so
like...
You still got to enable the flag, right? It's not on by default.
In Proton, no, it's ready to go out of the box.
Yeah, okay. In Proton, as long as the kernel has it enabled, you're good to go.
Done.
Excellent. Love to see it.
Yeah, the thing that is like, ooh, there's new Proton based on Wine 9. Let's go have a look at what Experimental did. Not much. It's mostly what they what they already had there. The only thing that kind of jumped out at me was because I've been on the MMO binge. The Black Desert Online. That was one of the MMOs
That's a name I haven't heard in a long
the horse MMO. That's all I know about it, is that there are horses.
Yeah. it straight up just did not work at all with Proton. Now it does. All right. Cool. I guess now that I'm just about wrapped up with the new world, might as well.
How do you load one in the chamber? Like, you're playing an MMO, but you're already like, I know I'm going to break up with you.
Yes. I know myself well enough. I've played many MMOs in my time, so I know what's going to happen.
You know what? Why don't you, I got a game that you might like. It's called Maple something.
That's still going, and every now and then Nori goes back into it. It's like, oh god, this game is bad now. It's really bad.
Aww. What about
maybe they need to rewrite it in Godot?
Yeah, and deploy that shit.
Yeah, well, this is neat. This is from Steam Deck HQ. All the links to all these notes, or all these stories, are in our show notes, by the way. Yeah, so if you're developing your game on Godot, Godot supports a number of engines, or if you're using a W4 contract, or a number of platforms, rather, not engines. But you might want to export your game to SteamOS or Linux, and you might think, well, I got the Steam Deck. How do I get my game from my workstation to it? And lo and behold, someone has gone and made a plugin for this. This is by oh god, go away, you freaking thing.
Laura Sophia Heinemann.
Yeah, Laura Sophia. Links to her GitHub are in the story as well. And yeah, it uses the Steam Deck developer mode, a little bit of rsync and SSH to copy your game from your Godot console to your Steam Deck. And it's super handy to have because you do a one-click deploy. You can test stuff. You can get your feedback, or you can get your debugging. And that's just good. Make sure that you can get your game running on the Steam Deck. And like after like last year's whole Unity nonsense, we're starting to see a lot more third-party tooling coming out for Godot. People are trying to like address common use cases, and this will just build up over time and make Godot a more and more attractive platform for game developers.
It is, and if you have the one-click deploy option for what apparently has turned out to be the single most popular x86 based console released in 2022. Gotta put that caveat in there.
On a Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. one-handed.
Yeah, no, like an x86 handheld console that, as it turns out, is very popular. If you have that option to deploy everything with the one click, you know, the holy grail of game engines like Unity used to have. That's very good. That's very good.
It warms where my heart should be to see, I should say, the smart developers going,
yes,
oh, we need to get on this Godot thing because Unity is going to come back around and fuck us.
Yeah. Well, and it's like everyone who's actively developing a Unity game is like, that's it. Once they finish that, they're moving on to something else.
Not everyone. I think, unfortunately, a very small percentile of developers are like, oh, well.
I guess the iOS folks, yeah.
Like, we've taught them a lesson. The internet won and they backed down. I'm like, they didn't back down.
Yeah.
Doing another lap waiting for the internet.
Tactical retreat, right? Like, yeah. Lull you into a false sense of security.
That's it. So if you're not looking, I mean, I'm not saying you got to go to Godot, but you need to go somewhere, man. Like they're going to squeeze that stone again, man. It's not going to be pretty. So yeah, stuff like this, to what Jordan is saying, the tooling, love to see it. Glad it's there. And let's talk about a couple of new games coming to Linux this week.
Old new games. They've been out for a while in various shapes or forms, but now at least this one is out for real. Last Epoch. It's that game that Scott Michaud worked on briefly. 1.0 comes out. It has a bunch of fixes, including a full offline mode, which I mean you would think would be a bare minimum for an RPG with a single player component, but you know whatever. They also added full controller support to maximize that Steam deckiness. And yeah, Pedro, you played this one briefly during its early access stint.
Yeah, I did, and it was very much because Scott worked on it. So it's like, all right, let's give it a try. A little bit, yeah. But it is. I like the time traveling mechanics because the map itself isn't very big, but you're going through the same areas at different eras, like several thousands of years in between the different eras, and you get to take your character through that time and everything, and you're basically trying to figure out why that's happening and trying to make it stop because you're the hero in a point and click hack and slasher.
Looking through the news, they're already on to 1.0.0D because they've identified a couple issues, including like death logs not showing up when you die. They added more character slots, more bug fixes. So they're still working on it. It looks like the rollout is still underway. Let's call it.
We've definitely come back and given this game a bit of shit because it was in early access in the shop. 40, 50, 60, I forget how many hundreds of dollars of like bonus content before the game was out proper. But it is out proper, everybody. You can master all 15 classes, play it directly on Linux, as long as you have Ubuntu 20.04, even 16.04 will allegedly work. However, to how well it will work, well, there might be a little bit of debate there because the most recent reviews out of 24,855 are coming in mixed. And by mixed, I mean negative as hell. They appear to have an issue with old stability there. They do, and the online play doesn't work very well, and
hence the offline mode.
Yes, I think that was a necessity.
One of the problems with that is people in the forums and the discussions are saying, "Hey, man, online's bork. Can't get online. Can't do this." And the developer going, "Just play it offline, bro."
To be fair, that's
what you want to hear when you bought a couple of copies to play with your friends, right? And you're like, "Hey, man, this game I just bought," and the developers
while they're trying to fix it. Then again, the refunds are a thing. But yeah, it is
not if you bought it early access.
Myself the ability to bitch. Hell no.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I spent $60 or however much the early access on this game, and then I was playing it, and then it released, and then I couldn't play it again, I'd be kind of pissed off.
But a lot of people are happy with the game. Like I said, it's mixed, right? No, it's not like doom and gloom or anything. People are fun.
62% positive. Hey, there you go. Shotty left a review for early access. And yeah, it's still mostly positive, and I'll be the first one to admit that the 20 hours that I've played of this game were offline.
76.5 hours
by myself.
Servers are still down today.
Yeah. Probably someone who got it in early access too. And I don't care
Great
about
game,
the
bad server.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know though, because this is a Diablo, like this is an ARPG. Like people get pulled to these games because of the multiplayer component. So it is understandable that people are upset for that. And if people are happy with the single player, at least it's a decent single player experience. I would rather that than the other way around,
right?
Where it is, like hands down, right?
I think a lot of people are just you're going to get that reaction, like something comes out and they're like, "Cool, I've been waiting on this and it doesn't work." No matter, like we're all guilty of that, but we all know, like, okay, now that we've read a little bit, we're just going to sit back and wait, and they are working on it. So yeah, if this is your tip, go check it out. Now, our next game is kind of bold and brave to be releasing this style of game. I haven't seen one in a while, but we do have a couple of them on Linux.
Yeah,
including this
one.
There
was even, what was it called? Heroes of Newerth?
Was it? The one, we're all talking about that same one, right?
Here, Paragon, yeah.
No.
The Paragon.
Heroes of the Storm?
No, that was...
that was the Blizzard MOBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was Heroes of Newerth. But yeah, we're talking about MOBAs. Specifically, Schmaragon. Paragon Schmaragon. Yeah, it is basically using Epic's Paragon assets, which Paragon was unfortunately one of the victims of the Fortnite. It came in, it ate all of the money that was available
Ding, ding,
for
ding,
other
ding.
projects.
Heroes. Oh yeah, the other
Yeah,
League of Legends one.
S2, because it had a Linux port even way back
yes.
then, and apparently this is no longer around.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it finally dead?
Yeah,
Well-
it says was.
So like what I remember about Han was if you thought League was toxic,
Right. Okay. Fair. Okay.
But yeah, along with Unreal Tournament 4 and many other projects that were at work at Epic at the time, Paragon got shut down in favor of Fortnite. And now there's Schmaragon, which I'm curious. I'm legitimately curious because they describe it as it's an indie MOBA, an exciting fusion of EVE Online. What? Heroes of the Storm.
Clans and Microsoft Excel.
And Epic's Paragon. It's like, okay, those last two, absolutely, I can see it. EVE Online? How? It's not going to make me play the game. I don't like EVE Online, but I'm curious, how is that even?
No, I mean, it's like one of the classes. You got like Druid, Starship.
The Excel spreadsheet.
Yes. Yeah, well, the Excel spreadsheet is one of the classes too.
Yeah, I mean, like it's literal macros or your spells.
Yeah.
You have to
you
write
have
your
to balance
spells in
people's
Visual
timesheets and
Basic.
shit.
Right.
You got to file your taxes. That's
But yeah, it is,
It's free.
of all like the things
I
that I
don't
could
think-
point at Epic and say bad, this one I'm not, because more publishers should be able to do this. I know it's hell in some situations to try and get, the licensing and the permissions to use those assets for external contractors and whatnot. But I absolutely, for AAA publishers that can afford to do that, because they are effectively made of money at this point, so they can absolutely
What are we talking
and
about
should get permission for people to use assets of games that are now dead to release other games with those assets, to just let people use the stuff that is now languishing in oblivion.
I don't know. I mean, if we're
the-
doing fanfic, man, let's see. What do I want to fall out of the sky?
Chris Rock.
Fine. I'll take one Chris Rock, please.
Well, and again, Epic released all those assets because they're like, hey, we threw out this game, and also we don't have a fully developed asset store like Unity does, so here's a bunch of shit you can use for your actual game. It is free, and I don't think they could get away with. I don't think they could get away with charging for this. I think Epic.
I thought you were about
Tim
to
would-
get like super dramatic and like tearing up.
I just don't think. No. I just have too much crap in my throat. Excuse me. But yeah, like I don't think I think Tim Sweeney would move his watchful eye of Sauron over on these guys if they started to charge actual money for this. Be like, no, you can't make money off our assets. We can't make money off our assets.
You know what? I tried to play this game, and to get back to the game, I was like, hey, it's free. I'll download it. It's 20 gigs, not a big deal. Loaded it up, clicked play, it launched. Had a login screen and all it was is like just one big screen, text field in the middle. It says pick a username or login. I'm like, okay, neat. Couldn't get my mouse to the box. Tab didn't work. No option on the screen to put it in windowed mode or anything to get to the box that I got to enter a name in order to play the game. I
Because you
tried
got to psychically project it into
alt
the
tabbing,
computer.
and like every time I got around it, would like, no, I think what my issue is my first monitor is on my far left, and it's marked, but my primary monitor is my third monitor on the far right. I think it was having a problem with that, but who knows? I don't know. I uninstalled it because I couldn't play it. At least put an option screen. Like give me a little cog so I can put it in windowed mode.
I guess that was the advantage of the Unity Scream of Nope, is that it like preempted all that shit so that
It's weird, right?
But then
hated
you
that
couldn't
so
change
much.
That
settings
was a
in
way
the
to do it.
game, so
You know
like
what I could have done?
yeah.
Okay, you know what? I probably could have made it work at the GameScope, but still, right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
so it's a lot of effort for a free game, right?
more than I was willing to apply to it. What do we got up next? Oh,
I'm your turbo lover, Vin.
Forced induction
The
wine.
interesting bit.
Yes. All right, let's talk about this. So this is cool shit. We say it's wine related, but it's actually more of a kernel related thing. You may have remembered from a couple years ago, Linus going on the Linux kernel mailing list and yelling at people about trying to implement spin locks and other such bad wait functions under the Linux in Linux user space to maintain compatibility with certain Windows software. Eventually, it got to the point where they're like, "Fine, fuck it. If you need this, we will add this to the kernel." So now a bunch of NT-sync related system calls have been added to the kernel, which will allow Wine to take advantage of it. And this has a nice little benefit for things that are bottlenecked by NT-sync.
So little.
Just a little, i.e. a 678% performance boost in Dirt, 177% performance boost in Tiny Tina Wonderlands. Now, this isn't across the board. They say that like only specific games actually use NT-sync very, very heavily and have a bottleneck regarding this. So games like Dirt or Tiny Tina's Wonderland will see massive performance increases. Some will not see anything.
Yeah, but Jordan, I'm only seeing a 34% increase in Total War Saga Troy, so we'll just toss it out. That's not worth our time.
Well, yeah, that's because you're playing Total War Saga Troy and not Total War Hammer.
Yeah, I'm going back to playing Anger
if you're
whatever that is.
the kind of person who enjoys the Total War games, you probably are very much chomping at the bit.
I want to play Total War Saga
34%.
Brad Pitt edition.
I didn't, when I was reading through this, and I was like, 678% performance is notable. Something
Just a little.
You might notice. Yeah. And again, particular situations, but I think, nothing's guaranteed across the board. I can't wait to start playing around with this stuff. And I know Jordan's playing Tiny Tina Wonderlands, and like 177%, that's nothing to sneeze at. Even if you're not going to get 177, who's going to, this is worth getting set up if it's like 10%, 15% sold. And I didn't think there were these types of gains left to be dug out. With performance, with DXVK, VKD3D, we've seen that, and we're like, okay, I think we're good now. We're good. We're going to get maybe, another, maybe like up to 8%. I didn't expect them shit like this to just come dropping out.
And it's a recent thing too, and it's and again because it's not across the board,
right.
And just getting rid of all of essentially it's just getting rid of all the abstraction overhead, right? Like if the software can do the thing that it was trying to do to begin with without having to go through several layers of translation, that claws back.
Linux is going to be end up being better Windows than Windows.
Yes.
Yeah, for gaming anyway.
Arguably already is, but
well,
yeah. Yeah, no, this comes from Codeweaver's Elizabeth Figura, however you want to say it.
Magnifico.
She is the one
Elizabeth
who,
Magneto.
Yes, she's the one who submitted this to the mailing list, and they themselves called these functions problematic. And yes, as Jordan already mentioned, there was that thing with Linus and the Stadia developer that was trying to port a Windows game to Linux to run on Stadia. It's like, no, you're doing it wrong. And yeah, as larger and more complex games start to rely on, just the assumptions that they're running on the NT kernel, and they're using spin locks, and they're using those syncs, and they're using whatever else that Windows does, it makes a lot of sense to have something in place and to do it properly and to have it basically because they specifically mentions like the wait for all function is known to just cause the entire system to stop while it's doing something. So they want.
We saw. I mentioned that in the pre super shows or the Ryujin X thing. They ran into this as well when they're trying to get the performance delta between OS 10 and Windows, right? For a lot of the Switch emulation as well.
And actually having this in the Linux kernel and done properly so that functions like wait for all can't lock up the entire system, but still allow the games to call those functions when they need That's great. Seriously, these performance bumps, even if it's not going to be all games, because they themselves say that it's not going to be all games, this is going to bring that performance parity and more than likely performance advantage on Linux versus Windows, because I don't think that Dirt 3.
Pedro, how do I? Is there going to be an exe file, man? Stupid smelly nerd.
No exe.
How do I download it off the GitHub thing? I don't understand.
You right click, save
Linux games done. Give me the exe click thing. Make go burr.
But does it run in Wine though? That's the important thing,
right? This is going to be, being a self-contained kernel module, so there's probably a good chance of getting this upstream. Which I don't think is going to be too big a deal. Do you think this is going to be a big enough thing to where we're going to see a PPA or like a copper repo of people? Because I look at this and I'm already as soon as I don't have to do all the extra work with Wine and this, I'm going to build this myself. But I build in real-time kernels all the damn time. Will you, Jordan?
Maybe.
Would you compile the custom kernel? How about you, Pedro?
Here's the thing. If it is modular though, we could probably. The fragmentation boogeyman comes up, but
homeboy over here going to be doing an INS mod, and maybe
right, yeah, where you have to on desktop distributions you're going to be shipping this module by default enabled, but in server distributions you might not, because at some point, because these are available, developers are going to want to use them, and these are problematic interfaces. We have better ways of handling this kind of shit under Linux.
Valve,
so
I know you have a couple of
spare
dump trucks sitting around. Go drive one back over there. Hook 'em up.
Yeah, just go back to CodeWeaver. So, hey, we heard you're doing things.
Well, send them a bonus dump truck full of money. Yeah, just throw it in there. Speaking of performance gains,
yes. So we talked about it a couple of weeks ago that the NVK driver, on a very specific use case, was actually outperforming the proprietary driver, which, considering how recently the NVIDIA Vulkan open source driver was introduced and how long the proprietary NVIDIA drivers have been around and performing about on par as they do on Windows, things were a little weird when, the new project all of a sudden was doing so much better. And people were speculating, okay, so if we have that good performance over Vulkan, how about we start doing OpenGL over Vulkan instead? And this is one of the patches, specifically the one for DRI2, to introduce Zinc for basically, if the driver can use Zinc, it will use it over whatever else. This for the Gallium driver.
This would be Nouveau. So the old Nouveau OpenGL, and it makes sense. I love Nouveau old OpenGL because this was a Herculean task to try and reverse engineer a proprietary NVIDIA driver. But now that we have the GSP firmware and shit like that, this becomes less of an issue. Right now I'm pretty sure Zinc already outperforms Nouveau OpenGL. So yeah, why not include it?
Come on, man. D has Zinc. Kent has. Give me a Kent has flag.
Yeah, but the nice thing with this is you no longer have to set Mesa loader driver override if you want to actually use Zinc.
Yeah, there's still some weirdness between DRI2 and DRI3, and
thanks, I hate it.
Basically, you look at that thread and it's just like Alyssa Rosenvig, Dave Early, who is the author of the original patch, Mike Blumenkranz. It's like, all of the
aka super good code.
Yeah, all of the high level Linux graphics people are on it. It's like, all right, cool. This is gonna be a thing. Cool,
dude. How long do you think? We've been very interested in, because it's only been a minute since NVIDIA walked out and said, "Here, smelly nerds, here's some source code. Go hack up your own thing." And, by the way, here's all the firmware stuff. Have fun shoving that in the kernel. How far away are we, man, until we have just straight up parity between the closed source binary blob? Now, let's go ahead and be real. For gaming, for Vulkan, for that, not your CUDA and all that stuff's going to not happen. It's going to be very much AMD situation
Mhm.
that you're going to have there. So just for your desktop and for your gaming performance with a benchmark, like, what are we, maybe, 9 months, 10 months out from like reasonable parity within like 80%?
I
Maybe.
would still I predict there's probably going to be like a couple big gotchas that are going to come up.
Yes.
That may take like a year or two to like actually sort through because of like weird driver compatibilities or like hardware stuff that pops up. Or, yeah.
Well, then again, this is only going to be working with like for now, like newer cards, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So
it's only
and
like
like
NVK supports.
Yep. And then there's also going to be like a similar problem with what we have with AMD graphics, where a new card comes out and then there's going to be a bit of a lead up time before you get full support for that as well. So,
who knows, man? Just keep doing the cool work like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's good stuff though. Yeah,
firmly, you could have asked me this, just this time last year, like, because we're getting like these random leaps, man. Nuvo was like that thing that if you were lucky. Like a year ago, you were lucky if it gets you a screen so you could do a graphical like install.
You could run the installer,
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, and if it did that, you were like, dope, love it,
amazing. Open up Firefox, download the blob drivers, get on with your life.
Yes. Interesting times. Did either of you ever play with anything outside of like big picture mode, like game wise? Have you played with a heroic launcher, like the whole, what I'm trying to, like the whole desktop type thing, like a dedicated
I've used emulation
the unified
station
launcher?
in the past.
yeah, like just
not really, no.
no.
I'm a big launch stuff from terminal guy, honestly. Like,
Yeah. Oh, dude, dude. Anybody who grew up with Linux at any point, man, like I just assume something is not going to work, and I just want to have the terminal open to save me that step of like,
to capture the console output, right? Like,
right.
yeah.
And well, maybe you like that full screen, like I boot up and boom, it's a gaming appliance, because we kind of had that. We got a taste of it like way back when with the original Steam machines. That kind of first gave us that hint. People are still moving along with that same idea. That brings us to Open Gamepad UI. What do you think UI stands for in this case?
Ugly image.
Ugly? No, I think that's a good image, Jordan.
Okay.
That looks just like a Dreamcast controller.
Underwater iguana.
I'll allow that. So what is it?
Unusual iris.
Free open source game launcher and overlay written with Godot engine numero cuatro, which is kind of neat. It's got a couple of things in it, man. I played around with it. Hey, we got big picture at home, but it has options to pull in the Steam library. It can do it from FlatHub. Yuzu and Lutris libraries are in there as well. Now, that first launch does take a minute, but it was fun to play around with. I was like, I could do a lot of stuff with this. And you can run it right from your home directory. You don't have to do a system-wide install, but all the instructions are on the GitHub page. Go check out our show notes and just...
Yeah, Strider beat me to it because I was going to say like, I think Strider is going to steal this one for the Lutris UI, and Strider immediately posts, yes, the Lutris Gamepad UI. Good thing you're talking about it.
He had already mentioned that he was going to try and do something like this for Lutris, so yeah.
Well, they beat you to it, homie. There it is. I mean, it's that. If you're just tuning in, you're like, the fuck's a Linux? Fair. This is think about your like what is the RetroArch type
emulation
thing.
station.
Yeah.
That's the
but for all your games,
the XMB style
right.
UI or whatever. Yeah,
take all the stuff that you got from Steam, from Lutris, installed Epic, and it's just there, man. There's your game machine. There's your console right there, and you're not limited to just what you have available on Steam, which is a pretty cool idea.
Yeah,
and I like it. I do. And as someone who has used Emulation Station in the past, and I kind of wish that I could expand it to do more than just the games. I like the idea behind this one because yes, I when I have a proper living room and I have like a system hooked up to a bigger screen, I'd very much like to set something like this up as something to launch either big picture mode or Cody.
It's got a bunch of cool stuff built into it. Per game customization, launch games, multiple sources, automatic artwork, downloading like it's built.
Hopefully, it doesn't use the VLC library for that.
Right, fair enough. Go back and listen to the pre super shows, and if you're a patron, plug-in architecture, so it's built for module like RetroArch, man. Pretty.
Someone
cool.
put some thought into this.
Yeah, and this is like very much like, hey, this is early work, and keep that in mind. But go play with it and start poking at it. Is there an exe to download? No,
they do. They have a package that's a builder.
Yes.
They do.
RPM, baby. There it is, and you can just download the tar.gz and run a make install, and it'll just put it in your home directory, and you can go play around with it. And more importantly, there's a make uninstall. Thank you.
That's nice. Not everything fucking includes that,
well,
right?
I didn't realize that it did its own little takeover, because I was like, oh, this is like a launcher. I'm like, oh no, this thing, because I watched the install path. I'm like, oh shit, that's going to take over XFCE and start this up. And I'm like, please make uninstall. Yes. All right. I didn't have to go hack all that back out. Good job on that. Last but not least, a game a lot of people don't even know exists.
Yes. A lot of people
play it on your cell phone.
Yeah, a lot of people, if you played games on your old pre-smart cell phone, you've probably heard of the Doom RPG, which was a very simplified and at the same time more complex version of Doom, which had the dungeon crawler movement mechanics. You move tile by tile, and you turn inside the tile, and you have the 4 directions that you can move in. That's about it. A lot of people really liked it, and there was enough demand that someone actually ported they reverse engineered the phone version onto a proper PC version, as it were. It was released back in 2022, but there's a new update which came out in January 2024. The forum post that Van is showing there, it just links to the if you just download the zips from there, it's just the Windows version, but the first link is the source code, and it takes you to GitHub, obviously.
The link to the GitHub is in our show notes as well.
Yes. And you can build it yourself, and there's actual instructions on how to.
And I'm really glad that had a enlarge icon on it.
The Diablo Devolution X mode of zoom and enhance.
That resolution is pretty much what you would be looking at in one of those old phone screens. But yeah, it is. I still prefer Doom to roguelike personally, but it is.
Isn't that Jupiter Hell now?
Yes, it's just Jupiter Hell now. It's just better roguelike.
I'm down for it. I'm here for it. I would, dude. Okay, what type of phones are out when this launched?
This was Symbian, right? So
so the Nokia 6630, for example.
Because I noticed I went looking on the wiki. This is using SDL2, by the way, so it's kind of dope.
Yes,
they're using that. The Symbian OS never received a dedicated port for the game,
which is weird because my TI-83 calculator got a port of Doom.
Oh, really?
Yes, I remember playing that. It ran at a frame a second or 1 frame a minute because it's a fucking calculator. But
yeah, I'm curious if you played this and you knew, because some people are heavy into mobile, and you were one of the early adopters. Gaming on the phone's the future. You were right, by the way.
Engage.
Let me know. Send in some feedback or leave a comment and let us know what was the phone to play this on back in the day, because I was blissfully unaware this existed until a couple of years ago when the reverse engineering project started. And by the way, you will still need the actual files. There's a nudge, wink, instruction on the GitHub of hey, go to archive.org and search for the thing, and you'll find it. Oh.
And there's also another, because then I was looking, it's okay, so this is just using it. It is the engine, and it pulls from the actual file. But there's a Doom, GZ Doom based reimplementation, which is also an option if you want to look at that.
When are we going to get
for this one specifically? For this one specifically, or
no, it's separate. It's also for Doom RPG, but it's a separate thing.
Can we get Quake RPG? Can we get I want somebody
Quake, what's supposed to be an RPG?
That's what I was about to say. I want somebody to take that original design document and build it out to
So that I had a plan to do that, to convert it into a D&D campaign.
Okay.
That was my plan.
That's how you get Romero to show up at your house. We're like, let's play
this
go.
is how I get Romero to join my D&D group.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Let's see if I can get Carmack in too.
Pretty good. But yeah, seriously, man, like send in a note if you know more about, because I'm curious, like what was your first mobile game? Like what not the first one, because I'm going to go Nokia, SNCC.
Or Arkanoid Breakout or whatever, yeah.
What was the first one that made you go, there's something to this? Because I'll even say Engage, because I knew one dude and bought one, Tony Hawk. It's like, give me, let me play it. And I'm like, nope, not there yet. That wasn't it.
but again, it's like evolutionary steps, right? Like you need to stumble in order to find out what doesn't work.
What was the first game that you got in contact with? You're like, oh, this is going to catch on.
Worms for my Nokia 7250. It was a stupidly simplified version of it, but
that soldiers.
I don't think I ever really had one.
Let me give you the perspective. I was like, oh, this is real now. When Carmack put Doom on the iPhone, and I was like, oh, you can we can play real games on these things eventually. And it was an on-rails version of Doom, but it was Doom. Like Doom.
I guess for me it was just like the proliferation of Farmville on people's phones. I'm like, oh, I guess eventually like it will go in that direction, right? Like,
and now we're at the point where there is legitimate like esports tournaments with mobile phones. It's the weirdest thing to watch because
Fortnite is on the phone.
Yeah.
we have esports tournaments about office productivity software. We're in a brave new world, man.
You see, dude, I still firmly believe that started as a practical joke that somebody got that like corporate sponsor showed up out of nowhere, not realizing it was a joke, and they're like, "Fuck it, let's roll." Oh yeah,
one of the wonks in like the Excel division at Microsoft saw that and cut a check. They're like, "Oh yes,
yeah,
this."
I mean, the whole idea of Excel being an esports sounds like some bullshit the three of us would come up with as a joke in the after shows and for one of this thing.
Right.
Then Microsoft shows up and like 6 figures, guys, and we're like,
yeah, but then you see those fuckers take that shit seriously, and it's like, I can't write like actual software that does that shit. I'm not gonna do that.
No. I mean, I think we've all probably, like you at home, you've probably been curious enough to click on that fucking YouTube and be like, what's this? And you're like, I have no fucking idea what's going on. Like, and I know Excel enough to like okay, you guys win. Like, done.
Yeah.
Tell us about your Excel addiction if you got one.
Your Excel saga?
The Excel saga? Don't give them ideas, man.
Yeah, tell us about your favorite anime.
How can you do that? I want you to head over to linuxgamecast.com. We got a contact button. Smash that, fam. Pick the topic, Linux Gamecast Weekly, and write back. And if it's something interesting, it was something pretty good, you got some thoughts and some hints, and we're like, oh, shit. Hell, you might even answer a question that we asked on this very show. We'll come back to you, and we might even talk about it next week. Who knows? But somebody clapped back at us, gentlemen, because we were talking, in our defense, they asked us to take a look at something.
Yes.
they did, and then they thanked us, and then we responded, and they responded again. It's like when you're like trying to say goodbye on a phone call, and they're like, bye bye, see you later, you too, later, bye. But okay,
no one under the age of 27 understands that.
Anyone who's been on a business call, anyone who's been on a business call has run into that over Zoom. It's maybe not over a phone, but you get my point. This is from Replaying, and they're talking about Dynacat again because we talked about it last week, and they said, "Hey, thank you so much for featuring Dynacat at the end of your podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk about the game, even if it really isn't your thing. About the running animation, we didn't put it in because the character has wings. It's a fairy cat. Seems legit. I'm not gonna argue that.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to find an excuse to not do the running animation, then give it wings. There, done.
Well, and it's like, oh, well, why aren't the wings flapping? Because it's fucking magic. Who the fuck is this, right? It's a fairy.
Dude, it's got a magical speed shield sucky thing. And
it's got 2 little stubby wings, which wouldn't provide anywhere near enough lift to propel it, but okay.
You know what, Pedro? I push in front of the bus. Just for that. Yeah. And I'm on your side. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, I think really the thing that confuses me the most about this game is how Sega has not sued these guys out of it.
I'm impressed, man. But I mean, I love that the game's got. I said it last week. I love that it's coming out on Xbox. There's a little something special about that. Yeah, but that's one way of getting out, having to do a running animation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
Make it fly.
Man, if I could float, I would like just be at that segue angle and just like float forward, just be like a forward slash the entire time.
Well, okay. Damn. Okay. You can float, but it's not flying. Okay. Your maximum height is 0.5 meters off the ground, and your max speed is, I don't know, 1 kilometer.
So what if it's you can float like a half a meter off the ground, but like it's your walking speed and it exerts the same amount of energy as walking or running.
Okay, so yeah, you can float as fast as you can run.
Okay, but you go blind while you're using it.
That's why you get the canes, right? Or you have a big like hula hoop around you. Yeah, cocaines. Yeah, you might build some kind of robot to assist you, composed of like several smaller Voltrons, some sort of cocaine Voltron.
So I don't know. Having a cup of tea at the cafe, chilling out, and you just see Jordan floating down the street, stabbing stuff with canes and braining people.
It's the cat cafe, and then the cats leave the cafe and form a robot, and then I have to fight them with the canes.
Sues us for no reason. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Well, welcome to the new season of my Netflix show. Please fund.
See, it's bullshit like that that's going to end up with like a fucking, you're like, hey.
Yeah, I'm going to get an email from Reed Hastings, be like, so, about that. We still have the rights to Voltron. You want to do this?
Yeah. We'll give you one series. Here's $900,000. See if you can.
Yeah, you get the one series like everyone else. Go.
No. We're going to book you for 3, but we're only going to.
What the fuck do you do? Okay, like seriously, we have some like bullshit. Like, okay, cocaine. Let's say fucking Netflix shows up in the fucking inbox tomorrow and is like, listen, we'll greenlight. We'll give you a production budget of, I don't know, $6 million. You got to write it out. Do the 3 of us just like fuck off for a year?
I would give it a fair shot. I would give it a fair shot just for fun.
That amount of money.
Yeah, like I would take a year off for like $2 million a pop, right?
Yeah,
that would be worth it.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out, whatever.
Then it turns into like 40 years later.
It's a cult hit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 40 years later, we're at like fucking Comic-Con as like heads in jars because it's Futurama style and we're answering fucking questions. The same fucking question that everyone asks.
Dude, no. Mine's way sadder than that. We're like, what's his name from Star Trek Voyager at the
Robert Beltran or whatever.
That's us. Remember when we made the funny Voltron parody thing?
All right, Grandpa, let's go.
All right, no wheeler out.
Eat your applesauce, old man. Right. Come on.
Poop hands. Ladies and gentlemen. First South Park I ever saw on a VHS tape.
Kill me, Billy. I don't want to live anymore.
That shit broke me, man. Hopefully we broke you, ladies and gentlemen, because on that bombshell, it is always time to cue the music. You can check out what we do. We get up to this nonsense live every Saturday, live on Twitch, live on YouTube. You can find them. Head over to Linux Gamecast, all the links, all the stuff that we get up to. Oh, shit. Hang on. I got to thank somebody.
Oh, shit.
Stop.
Who?
Record scratch. Maybe I'll add that effect. I got a present.
An actual present.
Yeah, it's one of those Amazon bags too. Yeah,
like no shit. I was like,
someone sprung for the extra $350 for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have let's just do all the plugging that I forgot to do. Patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. If you want to help us out, you get access to the Pre-Super Chosen, which is our little production meeting. That's where you can find out about Taints and Glass a little bit earlier. We get that podcast.
Whoa, Tainted Glass.
Taints and Glass. And we got a couple other things. We do the live and uncut version. So if you can go watch this later, but if you want it tomorrow, I'll have that out in podcast format. Access to our Discord, early invites, access to our show notes. It's just a gang of stuff. If If you can kick us $1 a week or $1,000 a week, either way, we would appreciate it. Lets us do what we do. Now, we do have a wish list over on linuxthemecast.com. Pedro has one, Jordan has one, Joel has one, and I got one for the studio. That's how you end up on the fine, upstanding Cannibal Wall 3.0 next to Frank, next to Linus, because the camera's backwards and shit and my brain doesn't work right. If you send in something, you can send in a note from the Amazon wish list, and this applies to all three of us. And this one comes from Aromatic Dev _dev.
Oh.
Ooh.
Mr. Sinky Software.
So is it which side of the Pac-Man's less than, more than?
The mouth eats the bigger number.
Yes.
Right. So Linux is bigger than all. That is all, period. From Aromatic Dev. Fuck yeah, I agree with you, man. Linux eats all.
Honestly, fuck, I still don't remember the greater than, less than. I just do that.
I don't either, man. I tried to Google it real quick.
It's greater than if the bigger number is the first one. Like 3 is greater.
I don't have
than
numbers. All right, here, let me type out what we have. Hang on.
Yeah, it's the alligator eats the bigger one. That's yes. All I know.
There. That's what it says.
Yeah. So
Linux is greater than all. Yes.
Linux is greater than all, baby. Okay, do we want to
from an ASCII perspective? That is true. That is a higher number than all.
I don't know. How do I open?
You got to pull the ribbon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right.
It's a gift. You don't get gifts very often.
No, I dude.
Listen, the only reason I know is because I've received 2 of those bags. And I follow them.
I usually buy those bags whenever I buy Nori something from Amazon.
I'm. How do I get in it now?
You just stick your hand in the thing.
I don't want to break it.
Did it not just not come undone?
Apparently fucking cannot.
Cannot. Not who's there?
Oh.
Welcome back to the lock-picking lawyer.
Can I
squeeze?
Damn it.
Get the X-Acto knife.
Yeah, just cut the ribbons.
There we go. All right.
I think I got a pair of scissors here.
Put it in the mail.
Hand it through the screen.
All right,
is it takeout?
What?
It looks like a takeout bag.
Takeout food.
What do we think of that as?
A Sonic the Hedgehog Kigurumi.
It's something blue, yeah. Yeah, that's looking more and more like a Sonic the Hedgehog Kigurumi now.
Yeah. Sunk. It's hey, I was right.
Oh shit.
Sunk.
I'll be wearing the shit out of this.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I guess that's for the arts and crafts, right? Let's put that on. Oh god, it's a full one.
Sonic, what are you doing?
Yes, it's got gloves.
Now here's the question: do you fit in that thing, or is this going to be like Bon Scott, like fucking schoolboy clothing?
Okay, yes, it might look like a crop top on me, but I'm wearing this shit next week.
Amazing. Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I take back my internal monologue. It was worth it. It was worth it to open up the back of the
Absolutely.
Gotta go fast.
Jordan and Bader have one of those too. You can force this shit on them. And this is also why I typically don't put joke
masks.
stuff on the wish list. Yeah, you do. You got a nice
I have masks. I got a fog machine. I got all sorts of shit, man.
I mean, I guess I can get the wizard robe since Evandro so kindly bought those.
Oh, yeah. I got the wizard robe hanging over there. Yeah. That's still there.
We have all accumulated collections of random shit over the years.
Random. Yeah. Someone needs to send me the AK-47 guitar. I will never ask for anything else if someone sends me that fucking guitar.
I have those feels with an epic mother. But no, just keep watching the show, share the show, and enjoy what we fucking do. That's all we ask people. All right. Now, one of these. No?
Amazing.
It don't work? Come on.
You don't know the way?
For real one. People, if you want to get in touch with me, I'm just at Vin on mass.linuxgamecast.com, Vinstone on Twitter, and just type in Vin if you are on Blue Skies. I'm hanging out. As always, if you are a Twitch sub or a patron, come join in our Discord. We're accessible. We're just sitting there talking smack the other 6 days of the week. Everybody in chat already knows that because like this conversation just comes back over there when the show's over.
I'm Jordan. You can find me oozing out of various orifices on Twitter at The Burning Fool, on Mastodon at Frojo at mass.linuxgamecast.com, and at frojo.bsky.app. I think I'll change that to Aspire at some point, but I gotta set that shit up.
You can find me on Mastodon. It's just unaccounted for with the actual number 4 at mass.linuxgamecast.com. It's the last of the social networks that I'll be a part of. Don't fuck it up, Mastodon.
Yes, big Mastodon.tm.
Because Discord isn't a social network either.
No, not really.
It's a chat room, yeah.
Now, Discord would very much like to be wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
Time for
tries.
some credits.
Hey!
I guess you do know, Dewey.
I fucking made an assumption. It's like, what was the dumbest thing on that wish list? 'Cause there it is. I love it.
Because the good shit's not missing. We gotta thank our advisors, Omega Sartheron. We gotta thank our executive producers, Barbara M. Scott, Atomic Gas, Mike G, Drummer, Tomas, Hakeem, Dave, Eshep, Ian, Hoplo, and Kurnucky. And our little Nicky fans, Super Deathstote, Empty, and Eggy.
And the Sea Monsters, Renault, Rider X, Machina, Trudgy, Vertinuda, Justin, Darkwing, System T, Dancing Joe, DeCresney, and Oogie1. And
Beautiful
Death
party.
Notes,
Death Notes like
Melba,
Yalad, Pebble, Foxy, fine.
Romeo,
Geraldix, how many can we get?
Leonardo,
Mr. Alert, I
Kim,
see
Chris,
is in
Steven
chat.
Jill,
Jonas,
Doom
Douglas,
2.1,
Monica, Zin,
Rue,
Zin,
Turnover,
Mark,
Bisco,
Despec, Beckett, Tim,
Jalur,
Tron, Nubbin. Nubbin Grant.
Jalad's twice?
Whatever. I don't know.
Darmok!
All of our fine upstanding animals, especially Aromatic Understore Dev, for our new sync powers.
Oh,
He's gonna grind up and snort all those Chaos Emeralds. Don't you know it?
Dude, I'm keeping that at the door. I'm using that to check the mail from now on.
You gotta use that to like when like door-to-door people show up. Can I help you?
We're getting some use out of that, kids. All right. Dynafire, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. And yes, I did ban the chat bot that was getting
Was it a show?
No, it was just a
It
troll that
looked
was
like
getting
a
a
chat
little No, it was a person. They were responding, but they were getting a little spicy. Yeah, I was gonna do it if
as
you
soon as
didn't.
they dropped the "Are you gay?" No, gone.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
yeah.
I couldn't tell whether or not it was like, I was like, I think it's too dumb to be a chatbot.
Well, and
It's just the way that it was replying with completely nonsense bullshit.
it was responding to you. You are Adam Driver, by the way. I figured that out.
Oh, I'm
I
Adam
managed
Driver?
to. You are Adam Driver. I decoded that. But yeah, no, but like you know, sometimes we get people coming in and like they try to troll us, we ignore them, and then Chat Realm's like, ooh, fresh meat.
Oh yeah. They just jump right on it, man, which is like, again, it's like the self-aware thing. Like when you show up and like, if I show up like, oh, look, they're in the middle of a show. Give me attention. Stop the show and give me attention. Like, dude, we've been doing it for 13 years. Not gonna happen. Like, if somebody regular in chat's got something fucking good to say, we will fucking be like, hey, hang on.
Yeah.
We do that all the time.
That's why we have this guy right here. Shit.
Also, it's interesting to like go back when I'm editing. I'm like, oh look, they were talking about something else.
Okay, so if I'm
You're Adam Driver.
if I'm Adam Driver, let's see if there's a Kylo Ren helmet life size that I can add to my Amazon
Darth
wish
Helmet,
list.
man. We
No,
need
no. Oh no, you got to get the hole in the wall from Marriage Story.
You know what? Give me a fucking single, baby.
A single.
Or shingle. Hang on, let me cut this shit off so if we get to cut it back on. All right, hold it. Hold it. Hold it. We're going to pretend this is one of those old cameras. 6 minutes. All right.
I don't know if I was
Pedro.
switching or something.
No, you're fine. Boop, boop. Let me get Pedro. Go, Pedro. Hang on. I got to remove these covers. There we go. Raise that eyebrow again. All right. Awesome. Wait.
Now raise the other one.
Yeah.
Go back. I don't know. Let's try the other one one time.
Hang on. I didn't have the film in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't have the plate in.
Yes. Sorry, we weren't rolling. Gotta do that again.
Problems that don't exist anymore, man. Like no fucking
Right.
film. What do I? Oh, yeah. Hang on. I gotta do that.
No film. My SD card's out of slot. I gotta, or my SD card's out of space. I gotta delete some photos.
Dude, I took some pictures of a friend like years and years and years ago with like one of my it wasn't a DSLR. It was that fucking Pentax K1000 I had. Because he's like, he needed headshots for work or some shit like that.
Like a badge or something.
Yeah, just like whatever it was. Like, you know, again, this is like, we were just going to take it to the 1 hour place, but he had to go run. And I'm like, here, I took some pictures. And then he like, I completely forgot. I'm like, oh, right. And like, would crack the back, didn't have any fucking film in it. I'm like, whoa. Like, that's never going to happen again with a insert modern date. Hang on. Maybe some of that'll work. I don't know. I'll find a shot in there.
Okay, there's a Kylo Ren mask in my Amazon wishlist now.
You gotta do the whole show with it.
If it's perceptible over the microphone, I will.
Oh no! I mean, I'll do ADR for it. We'll all go.
Well, I mean, you can barely understand what the fuck he's saying in the movie, too.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'll do the entire thing, man.
Oh, no. You gotta do it with the Bane voice. No one cared who I was until I put on the mask.
You merely adopted the
Put that goddamn mask back on, Kyle.
How much
Yeah.
is a KY Lauren?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. How much is a damn it. All right, now I gotta go check out Pedro's mask. I'm curious. Boop. Boop. Yeah, it's
Clamps.
a little blue.
It's not at the top. It's sorted by price. It's the cheapest one at the top.
It's a clamp.
Yes, the clamp is the cheapest thing in my...
But will it fit your giant head, Pedro?
We're gonna find out. It says it's one size fits all.
Yeah, like
Oh, hold on. Does it have like sizing information in it?
It has pictures of
it's made out
people
of
wearing
polyester.
them. so-
Hand wash only, so I don't want you to put this in the
Wee directive. Wee.
Can we do? Oh, Pff, I hate you, Amazon. For the price, no complaints. All right. I mean, I guess you're kind of looking for that, right? $40. Could be. It looked like a fucked up Ewok, dude. Or like one of the sound.
Isn't that the Plague Doctor from Darkest Dungeon?
Possibly.
Yes.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Oh, so this shit's like official? All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Didn't he? This keeps going. Dude, I don't know what that is. Or those. Or those. That's supposed to mean some shit, probably. What was that tattoo you had? I can't tell.
My tattoo is on my left shoulder blade, not on my arm.
I got big enough arms now. I should get
Yeah,
some
we gotta get
tattoos
you.
now.
We gotta get you some ink, man.
Yeah. I found like a really cool beholder tattoo or a cool beholder design that was like a beholder as a Celtic cross. And then 2 comments down, they're like, bro, that's a swastika. And I'm like, God damn it, that is a swastika. Fuck.
The I could do.
There's a couple I want. I want to get a tuck somewhere like on the back of my leg. I want to get like a mind flare I want to get I had a joke I wanted to get one time where I wanted to get like the Norse runes for right and left on the opposite side hands. Mm-hmm. So it says left on my right hand and right on my left hand. Because that's like a stupid joke, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm down with that. Dude, I don't even know what I would get.
I want like all the rest of my all-time favorite games on the rest of my back. I already have the designs for the Neverwinter Nights, the logo, like the eye, and
Now,
the.
we haven't gamified this. You can only get one command, one terminal command. What is it?
The longest tar command I can think of.
Oh no! Oh shit! What is the command that breaks down your fucking bash history? You got to get a tattoo of whatever the most common.
Oh yeah. History awk sort something or other.
Fuck, somebody dig that up. I want to see what.
Yeah,
mine is.
it's a one-liner. I could if I cared enough, I could figure it out now. But
Mine's probably SSH or top. H top.
so set up a SSH tunnel to something. I don't know.
I'd get that tattoo. Like I'd take that Pepsi challenge.
Yeah, you know what? RM-RF no preserve root / is a decent tattoo.
Yeah.
Like if you put it like on a shoulder or something, like yeah.
Like right where the t-shirt neck cuts off, right there.
Oh, what is it? Oh, I got some dude who's like, I got this far. 10 most used commands stored in history. Here we go. Boop, boop. Boop, boop.
Yeah, there we go. Unique C, Sword RN, head 10. Okay, yeah.
Oh, shit. All right, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Let's do copy pasta. Considering I did a system reinstall not that long ago.
What do I count the obvious one? You know what? Mine. What do you think? My top 3.
Oh no, I can't show mine.
Aw.
Yeah, I did a system reinstall not too long ago. There's some sensitive stuff there.
Okay, you know what? Interesting. I guess this makes sense because I do run these commands a lot. All right. I guess I'll post it. Yeah.
All right. I'll put mine up. I'll give you my top 13. I gotta edit out an IP address real quick. That's what I'm working on right now.
I got nothing spicy.
There you go. Top 3 is I'll do top 3.
There we go. Control E. We'll put that in the downloads. Export. There we go. Wait. I'm glad Pedro said sensitive because I was about to post some IP addresses.
LS is at the top for me as well. Some alias for Strider.
Yeah, my top 1 is Kill All -9 Steam because the current Steam beta doesn't fucking quit.
You know what? Kill All is in my top 3, but it's Kill All Jack D. Follow number 1 LS.
Yeah,
I'm a listy boy.
Yeah, me too. This is a relatively new install though. This was the install from November. Shit, yeah. So this isn't a very old install.
Oh, dude, this is the install from when I built Threadbooper. So it's 3.5, 4 years old.
Yeah.
Number 2 is OBS, and number 4 coming in is what I thought would be higher, SSH.
My top the GUVC view and the GoJack are most common because it's like, I gotta run that before we go live.
That's what Track and LGCW are.
Yeah.
The equivalent, that the bash scripts to start up OBS and connect all the network connection.
Yeah.
HTOP's way down there though, man. Number 12.
FG. I do a lot of foreground background stuff in the shell.
Okay.
I do like that though, because like it's really I guess I don't really use screen a lot, and you can just like flip stuff very easily. Yeah. Especially when you have like a long running command and it's just like, I'm going to check back on you. You still running? Cool. You go in the background.
CD DFH. Oh, disk free, human readable. All right.
Yeah.
All right. D message W. I know those feels. What the fuck's the problem?
Yeah, journal CTL-B0 for me.
Yeah.
That's why
NVIDIA
that's,
SMI.
Yeah. DNF remove trousers? See, I still process DNF as did not finish. Yeah. And
I'm just glad that if you type yum, it just automatically gets redirected.
Oh,
to
see,
DNF.
see that. So I think in Canada we use DNC, did not complete, instead of do not finish. So that's why that doesn't track for me.
What about what happens when you type in like sudo apt update in Fedora? Has anybody gotten?
I mean, there's apt in Fedora.
I know you can install that, but are they like, hey, did you mean to install this or like?
Sometimes, no, app not found.
All right,
Yeah.
that's perfectly valid. I didn't know if they would try to do anything clever with it.
So yeah, sometimes I think it's like when you're running it as like a non-sudo session, it'll be like, hey, did you mean?
You can install it. You can sudo DNF install.
Yeah, here we go. If I run apt as a regular user, it says command not found. Do you want to install it? So if you run sudo, it doesn't do that.
I did what was it? Did I do the what was it? I made a little equation for this stuff.
Journal CTL is usually a bit more verbose than the MESG.
Where did I put it? Multi-drive?
Journal CTL also lets you easily search stuff.
Yes.
Here we go. Here's a handy little equation I made for everybody down here at the bottom. Yeah,
Fuck.
you can fuck around and find out.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Fedora just lets you depackage. See, like depackage is how you get shit done. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've like tried to do it the proper way with like apt to get real fussy.
I got spoiled because Yum is really good about that. Because if you do a Yum install on a local file, it'd be like, oh, and you also need these dependencies. Let me get them for you.
Apt does that. Depackage is like for that shit that I know doesn't need anything. And I don't want to go through that whole fucking handshake relationship of like, oh, here, let me check and make sure and like whatever.
That's RPM on the Fedoras.
What is the equivalent of like RPM UVH these days?
DNF upgrade or DNF? DNF is smart enough that if you give it, like if you have something installed and you give it a local version that's higher, it'll be like, oh, you want to upgrade this package.
Okay.
That's all libresolve though. That's actually OpenSUSE tech.
Cool. All right, lads.
Yeah, it's
11 o'clock. These guys gotta get some sleep and gotta get some heals. Gotta get the HP back up.
1 HP a night, baby.
1 HP.
That's how we do.
That's a lot of sauce to drink.
That's
but hey,
real
man, you do you.
hardcore.
That's how it used to be.
Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.
Bye, folks.
OpenSUSE. We don't.
OpenSUS.
Does anybody still run that?